It's time for a Sambazon morning update. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Pipeline. It's a beautiful morning. Big chance of rainbows throughout the day today. Really clean conditions, and Tatiana Weston Webb was out there for an early morning surf. A world champion named Tyler Wright working with her coach, Andy King. She's in the first heat of the morning, and a local hero, Betty Lou, Sakura Johnson, fresh off a shoulder surgery, ready to compete. Lakey Peterson getting a high five from legendary surf photographer Tom Survey. Sally Fitzgibbons can juggle with one hand. It's impressive. Reigning world champion Caroline Marks is ready to start 2024. It's been a long wait for the women to officially get their opening day of the season. Look at the morning that we have. Aloha kakahiaka. Thanks for being with us. Joe Turpel, Jesse Mendez, and Laura Enever. Jesse, it's looking really fun this morning. Definitely looking like a lot of backdoor. Should be a fun start to the women's season today.
Man, it's a beautiful day again in Paradise. The sun's out. There's fun backdoor waves. I think we're going to have a lot of action today.
So much to look forward to, Laura. I mean, the big story is the Carissa Moore statement of stepping away from competition. She's in Heat 2 today. We'll see how she'll be handling the emotion herself as she's looking to perform.
Yeah, it's been a big sort of break for the women, a week off, and so finally they've been down here every day out there free surfing, but yeah, today's the day and it's looking so fun. I know Carissa is just going to have a lot of fun today. It suits her so well. We know she's the backdoor queen. I feel like we've got some long, incredible barrels coming our way from her.
So we'll get there quickly. First heat, though, Tyler Wright, the headliner, finished third in the world last season. Was able to actually have the number 2 seed at the WSL Finals last year in September. Ended up going down to now the world champ Caroline Marks at lower trestles. But it was great to see Tyler put together an entire season. Actually featured in 5 finals last year with 1 major win at Bells Beach. As we remember her domination 2016, 2017, back-to-back world titles. And then in 2018, 2019, we missed her as she was recovering from illness that sidelined her for much longer than anybody expected. But just like a champion, came back, turned in a stellar year last year, and she's ready to kick off the season in a good way. And she takes on a local around these parts, Betty Lou. Sakura Johnson steps up into her 17th career CT event. Remember her story, qualified as an exciting rookie, fell off tour. Last year she got to surf in a complete season, which was great. She did miss Tahiti, though, because she had to get shoulder surgery. So I think that's been the question around the contest side. How's Sakura feeling? Is her shoulder going to be ready to compete? When I talked to Betty Lou, she said she's feeling great, doing her exercises every day to make sure she's really strong. She loves getting barreled to backdoor. It's going to be fun to watch. And then how cool was the news for Luana Silva? You know, kind of went through the emotion of thinking she missed out on the tour by a spot at the end of the Challenger Series. Then with Stephanie Gilmore's announcement of taking a year off, that made it official for Luana Silva to be officially on tour here in 2024, representing Brazil, but raised right here on the North Shore of Oahu. Great heat to watch as we check out the conditions so far. It looks super clean. Lots of running rights that we saw a lot of local kids getting barreled this morning along with the world's best preparing. As we know, Tyler's made the final out here last year, and even in the Maui continuation season picked up the win over Carissa Moore. Let's get an update on the day with our chief of sport, Jesse Miley-Dyers with AJ.
Thanks so much, Joe. So, Jesse, first heat in the water. The women are surfing, getting their 2024 season off to a start. Walk us through what we're looking for today.
Yeah, so obviously we've got the women that we've just started, but we're looking for these 6 heats today in the opening round, and we also have the elimination round on hold, which is those extra 2 heats. It looks really fun out there. It's a little bit smaller than yesterday, but it's super clean, and it's a great start for us for the women's contest.
Excited to get the women's contest underway, but we still have a few more heats after today, as well as with the men. What's the forecast the rest of the window?
So right now we're looking at like a really good finals day for probably Saturday. Friday and Saturday are definitely what we're now looking at, and we're going to be looking at what exactly we need to do on Friday around the timing of that swell, and then what we'll have left on Saturday as well. It's looking like right now it's going to really pick up throughout Friday afternoon. So it's going to depend on the timing of that and how much we do on Friday, and then what we have left for a Saturday finals day. It looks really good, and I'm stoked that we're going to have these great conditions for us and to be able to wrap up the event.
Cannot wait. We have to get all the athletes settled, though, to find out who's surfing on finals day. So, Joe, we'll send it back to you to call Heat 1.
Thank you so much, AJ and Jesse Miley Dyer. So just to keep you guys up to speed with the days of the week here, just in case you're in a different part of the world, it's Wednesday today. We're talking about Friday, Saturday, which look really favorable. Another building swell. Great conditions is the best part, I think, because we've had some wild weather this season on the North Shore. Now it's all coming together for the back end of the waiting period as well. Laura, a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, some of these days have felt like 4 seasons in one day here in Hawaii, and today we've woken up, like Jesse said, blue skies, it's bluebird, it's east winds, those beautiful trades, and we turned up this morning and it's super groomed out there. Like Jesse mentioned, it's a bit smaller today, but there's still a lot of energy in the water, and I mean, for anyone that's not competing, up and down this whole stretch of beach it's looking pumping. You can see those waves in the distance over there. Yeah, there's just a lot of energy still there and a lot of fun waves around.
As we set the stage for a multiple-time world champion, Tyler Wright, remember back-to-back, looking for a 3rd world title this season. She's been around for a very long time. Her rookie start, she finished 4th in the world, repeated that success. So she was always a phenom, really translated her surfing immediately to the best surfing in the world. Picked up a win last year. That was the Bells win, but it was a back-to-back win for her. So she's kind of owning Bells Beach for the time being, looking for a 3rd straight Bells trophy this season. Look at her average place last year, looking solid with her heat winning percentage, 58%, ranked 3rd on tour last year with that winning percentage. Average heat score 11.48, making 5 finals last year. So much consistency. It was really looking like vintage Tyler was back. She was really healthy. Another one of those surfers that's been around for a while, Jesse, and she kind of has redefined her motivation each and every year.
Yeah, and I think also, since you mentioned a little bit ago, she kind of had those years off recovering. And when she came back very different. Like, her approach of surfing was different. She changed her boards as well. And she was looking like faster, like a 2.0 version of Tyler, you know? Like, she was just so aggressive as she always is, but looking faster and more light on her foot, which it looked very great, like, and it's translating to her results because she's killing the last few years.
We love breaking down the world champions, and Laura, you've spent time in the water in a jersey with Tyler. What really makes her so special competitively on tour?
I think just Tyler's evolution. You know, she comes back every year. She's grown in some way mentally and just always coming back stronger. I mean, she's been through so much. There's been a lot that she's had to really dig deep and push through, and I love her, dig deep, guts, and even just the way that she can just be vulnerable and say, look, even last year in Tahiti, just saying, look, I'm scared, but I'm going to push through these feelings. And I know that's something she's been working on, because sort of vintage Tyler had no fear. She would absolutely charge, and, you know, she'd be out here at these waves, she'd go to chopes and she'd throw herself over the ledge. And then after, you know, her illness, and then even seeing, you know, what happened to her brother with, you know, just injuries. And I think it just really pulled her back in a bit with her whole, you know, I guess the way she approached big waves. And then, going to Tahiti last year was a moment for her to just send herself over into those bigger waves and feel that rush again. And then I know the other day when it was macking out here, the day the event wasn't on, I know she paddled out and sat wide in the channel because she just wanted to get that feeling and see what that energy was like in the water. So I love that she's always working on her surfing in some way or another.
Really missing Owen Wright. Last year had the send-off at Bells Beach. You know, he picked that event to kind of say goodbye from competitive surfing. We talk about, you know, all the brothers on tour the other day with Crosby and Griffin, Samuel, Miggy, but then you look at siblings, you know, where we've had events where we've had Tyler, Owen, and Mikey Wright all in the same championship tour event.
That must have been the most we've got, probably. Yeah, 3 of them from the same family. It's pretty crazy, mostly on the highest level. We probably had on the Key West before, I'm not sure, but being on tour, the 3 of them, that's something the family is very proud of.
Have you heard from Owen lately? Have you seen him? I think he released a book recently.
Yep. Owen's released a book. They, him and Keita obviously living at Lennox Head, just family life, and just going to that next stage of his life, and obviously, bam.
And now it's kind of Keita's turn, right? Because she's an incredible musician, singer, songwriter, performer, and it's kind of cool how much support they have for each other. So Owen moving on, and now we're listening to the beautiful sounds of Keita. It's usually been a part of Tyler's kind of playlist before a big heat, as she is still positioning herself for the lineup. You can see Luana Silva right underneath her there. Luana's been great. I think she's gone through the roller coaster of, like with Betty Lou, that first year they fell off tour together, and then she's proved herself in a lot of different ways on the Challenger Series. And gosh, there's one event she loves so much, Ericeira in Portugal, with a win out there in the past, last year making the final. Sometimes you just have a pet event that always provides you success. It obviously goes a long way because she loves surfing on her forehand, loves a right-hand point break, and with the confidence that part of the world gives her, she can always turn in a big result.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, usually those events comes with the matching of the person's ability to the wave, and it's a perfect event for her, and we see her up and riding right here.
Here we go, Lulu just feeling her way down the line, and she kicks out. So just a warm-up wave, but remember, we're setting priority, so now it's up to Betty Lou and Tyler to paddle deep in position here for backdoor. It will be the two-time world champ Tyler, flowing right into the barrel. Good read and a make, and laying down a nice clean carve. Room for more off the top, belts it and loses control. Tough fall there, because that would have been so sweet to combo it up with two big moves to follow the barrel ride, but off to a great start for Tyler Wright.
Yeah, that was a really nice start for Tyler, and I can't wait to watch this replay, because there was a bit of a scrappy paddle battle, and I know that Betty Lou, she likes to get the claws out. She likes to just put her foot in and try to look at here. Thought she was almost going to give it a crack there, but Tyler taking off on this one. It draws out along the reef, and she gets a little tube here. This was an amazing turn. Nice carving into the pocket, but then really putting some pizzazz on here. Unfortunately going down. That would have been some amazing extra points there.
Totally, and that takes the attention off the surfer as well. So like, smart of Betty for doing that, because obviously Tyler had to be worried about her. Is she gonna like just whip under me and go on that wave? But like you mentioned, like, great barrel and nice wrap around right there. And right here is what I was talking about, Tyler, that she really developed throughout this last few years. That flair that she has. Like, unfortunately she fell, but that was going to be a great turn, and I think she's still looking for a great score to start the heat. So yeah, that was a nice way for Tyler.
Here we go, off and running. The opening day for the women of 2024. One guy that's super psyched all the time is Strider Raspberry Wazalewski. What's up, Waz?
Well, we're just doing another one arm because there's another set coming. So
how is this timing? I didn't mean to do it like this. Oh my goodness.
Yes, you do. You always do that, Joe.
Dude, I heard you got smoked yesterday. Brent Bielman told me everything.
Yeah, you know what? I think I was part of the entertainment package for the judges. They had a good time watching that one go down.
Well, now that you're set and sitting up on your board, let's focus on Tyler Wright. Really got a great start there, pulling in a back door.
Yeah, it was impressive. Getting on. Oh man, you guys. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Doing a great job.
He's getting worked right there.
Yeah, one of the most insane jobs, field reporting and dodging sets. As we look at this from what Strider probably saw. We got you back, Waz?
Yeah, we're back. I think we're clear. There's not a bunch of sets coming through.
So I guess the one mistake, obviously the fall from Tyler, but what about the two?
Sorry about that. Can't hear you.
Yeah, no worries. Remember the fall from Tyler on her second turn, but she did accomplish a nice tube ride and again the wrap, so she'll have a decent score.
Yeah, you know what? I think Tyler was just putting in the time out here. You guys talked about her being out here on that really big day just to get the vibe. I saw her out here all day yesterday surfing, watching backdoor. She was catching some waves off the wall, but she was really doing research and homework at backdoor. So she's been out here putting in the time, and you can see it. Perfect execution into the barrel. And we got to go again. Here comes another set. Sorry.
All right, Strider. Yeah, get set. You see the technique there. He puts the mic in his jersey there in wetsuit. When he's paddling this fast with the backpack on, you know there's something serious coming, and he'll get back into position, and we'll get the insight from the Waz throughout the day today. But gosh, what a dreamy day as we see the numbers coming in for Tyler Wright. 5.5. It dropped the high and the low, average out the middle 3 scores, and she will take the lead. So when judges are scoring, they're always focused on comparisons. It seems like a common number to start off heats with that 5.5. They're like, okay, we're setting the scale. It's a brand new day. The next wave that's ridden, they'll compare it to the 5.5, and they'll say, is that better or worse than Tyler's start? They'll start working out the numbers for competition. Backside snap, a little bit caught there. It was Betty Lou. But fun to see her doing her job after sidelined with that shoulder injury for a while in the offseason, Laura.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know she's been working hard to get back to 100%. Surgery is no joke, and the recovery there. I know she had a lot of time out of the water. And for someone like Betty, who is an absolute, she's a woman now. She's grown up, but she's still a frothing grom. She wants to surf every day. And so I know there was a lot of Pilates, there was a lot of rehab, there was a lot of things that she could do to just try to strengthen her mind and body in other ways. And back in December, she was just getting back out here in lineup at Pipe, and she's put up some amazing social clips of her at Backdoor. She's so fast. Her boards look amazing. I'm not sure exactly what she's riding today, but I feel like it'd be around the 6.0 mark. I know Lulu's on a 6.0, and I know these Hawaiian ladies love to really just go up with their equipment just so they can get that paddle power, get that speed. She's one to watch out here, especially at Backdoor.
What a great moment to check in with Carissa Moore, working with her coach, Love Hodel. Looking at the lineup, it just has a different feel to it after her big statement of stepping away from competition. She obviously competing here. She will be competing in Tahiti and also looking to get another gold medal Paris 2024 Olympics. So she still will be competitive enough, but also talking about trying new things and focusing on her family. And she has that kind of real exciting butterfly feeling of the unknown that's approaching, and we're really happy for her.
I know, and you can see it in her face. She's focused. She's probably so excited. She has so much excitement because this could be. It's one of her last heats ever, maybe at Pipe. So it must be something crazy for someone that's been on tour for that long. And we see Betty Lou up and riding.
Scratching into this one, pulling underneath the hood. Betty Lou had some travel time, unable to find the exit, but showcasing her talent of pulling up and under. Her good friend Lulu on the next one. And that thing stretched out in front of her quickly, and she'll get caught as well. Betty Lou is in a good position to regain first priority because Tyler is trying to back up her opening 5.5, pulls in, a lot of room in that section of Backdoor, and she will find a way to come out. Always impressed with those waves that tend to clamp down and you think it's shut down our competitor. Tyler just had a strong stance on that Paizel, and she's able to back up the 5.5.
Yeah, that was amazing. I didn't think she was going to punch through that section. It chandeliered quite a lot, but Tyler, she spent a lot of time just really getting to know this Backdoor reef, like Strider was saying, and love this one. She just pulled up under, just took her line, and that was an amazing strength and talent to push through that foamy section. That was more than a chandelier, that was a whole entire lip.
I know, and that's actually harder to do than actually coming out clean, but the judges really like when you come out clean throughout the barrel, so that's probably going to keep her score a little down, a little bit on the smaller side than what she would get if she came out clean. But great effort for her. It wasn't anything that on her side, it's just a wave had a big clamp and she muscled through it. That was impressive. And Lulu on the other side had such a clean wave, and she kind of did that first bump and didn't get enough drive through it. That looked like a good scoring potential. So a bit of a missed opportunity there for Lulu.
Still early stages here, 13:50 on the clock as we say a big good morning to Surfline forecaster Jonathan Warren. Jonathan, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, just looking for some details on why we're running today and what we have to look forward to.
Yeah, so what we have right now is this reinforcing spell that we've been expecting. It's a mid-period northwest, basically keeping surf going like what we had yesterday, very similar in size. Still have the northeast crossing in, but Backdoor is still open for business and nice clean conditions with easterly trades.
Oh, we're loving that. So looking like we will be having a nice day for the women. What about Friday, Saturday, and your thoughts on when we're finishing this event?
Yeah, so the storm that's going to send the swell for Friday and Saturday is already underway. The swell's already being generated from that thing, so it's pretty much a lock at this point, which is good news. We're anticipating a bigger swell. It's going to build in on Friday. Looks like it's going to top out there by the afternoon. Sets going well overhead, even pushing up to the double overhead mark by Friday afternoon. And it's going to carry over to Saturday as well, so expecting another pretty good day of surf through Saturday. The swell is going to start more west-northwest, northwest angle on Friday, and expected to start shifting through Saturday to get a little bit more north as that storm tracked off to the north. But yeah, basically plenty of surf coming, good size. Should see, pipe and backdoor day probably on Friday, and then more so backdoor on Saturday. And we're going to have nice, clean conditions. Trade winds are going to get a little bit lighter than how they've been, and more straight offshore. So all good news. And to add to that, it's going to be primarily just that swell in the water. There's not going to be anything crossing in, and that's what you want to see here for the reef.
Thanks, Jonathan. And for all the Surfline Premium members out there, any tips on how to score good waves using the tools from the site?
Yeah, well, definitely read the premium written forecast by the humans. There's model data and there's human data. I always tell people, read what we're writing, and that's how you're going to score.
Love it. Jonathan Moore, thank you so much for your time. We'll check in with him throughout the day and the rest of the event. But I love what he said about how we're finishing in great surf. Looks like it'll be pretty sizable. Nice balance of pipe and backdoor on Friday, and maybe a lot of backdoor with some size on finals day. Let's just keep our fingers crossed, knock on wood, do whatever you need to do, because that sounds like a lot of fun to me, Jesse.
Yeah, and the most important thing that what he mentioned is no crossing swell, so just a straight northwest with no northeast, which we had the past 5 or 6 days here on the island. So it's nice to see that clean swell come in, ground swell, so we should have good waves.
Lulu's turn to check this wave out. Little bit of an air drop, going to turns here. Nice flow off the top. Setup work just to find a little entry into this running wall. And a serious carve. I love that turn from Lulu. Love it on a big open face as well, especially at Sunset Beach, where she was born and raised. Gosh, it looks so great. Such a reliable maneuver that she brings to the tour, Laura.
Yeah, her power surfing is just absolutely beautiful. And you were talking about Irasira before, and that's always a contest that she's just excelled at. And this is why, because, she's grown up at Sunset Beach. She's so used to this heavy water, these big right-hand points, and just not afraid to just put it up into the lip and really just send spray flying to the heavens, really. Looking so strong. Love that last carve. Be cool to see what this score comes in at. Looks like it's going to be a 4-point ride. So judges showing that, if you're going to shred a wave today, that's backup score. That's you can get up into that mid-range. And loving this. Looking so fun out there. Looking so loose and strong and just composed.
Yeah, and she had kind of like a midsection that was pretty flat, so she got a 4-point ride with kind of a downtime. Imagine if the wave actually got steep throughout the whole section, she would have actually gotten a pretty decent score right there.
Lulu up into second with the 4. Tyler still leading, 6.17 and a 5.5. Plenty of time to go in the first heat of the season for the women here in the opening round of the Lexus Pipe Pro presented by YETI. We'll be right back. The Lexus Pipe Pro presented by YETI is brought to you by 805 Beer, Properly Chill, and by Apple Watch, official wearable technology of the World Surf League. Big thanks to Surfline, official forecaster of the World Surf League Championship Tour, showing us the maps for the end of the waiting periods in the new Northwest Swell, incoming for Friday and Saturday with overhead, and Jonathan Warren just said even double overhead surf. Looking forward to that. And the key thing there, offshore east, veering southeast conditions. It's going to be so groomed, and focusing on today, 5 to 8 feet, dropping slightly this afternoon. But a great offshore breeze, picking up just a touch as we get into the afternoon. So a great call to kick off the season for the women, really focusing all at backdoor so far. Friday, we're going to see that new swell start to really build and finish up Saturday in some size. Tomorrow morning, there'll still be some clean conditions, but it really sounds like we're focusing on Friday, Saturday. Remember, quarter set for the men already, and we'll be crowning our champions this weekend. Looking forward to it. Big thanks to Surfline and Jonathan Warren being on hand. And how about this? So much love for the 5-time world champ, Carissa Moore, as she prepares for Pipeline. Made the announcement right before we kicked off the year that she would be stepping away from competition. She's been writing letters to so many people that she's been around on tour for over a decade, and it's just speaks to her heart, the person that she is. She's actually trying to make it not about her. She didn't want to be even acknowledged at the WSL Awards, brought to you by Lexus, and that was impossible. It's Carissa Moore. She went up there and she was emotional, and we've been counting the days to see her paddle out with all the lay days. Really looking forward to seeing her coming up next in heat number 2.
Absolutely, and what a moment for Riss. I mean, you know, she was talking about it at the awards. She just wants to soak in every moment, even the little moments, the mundane moments, just the repetitive work and everything that goes into these events that she's put in over the years, over her long career, and just enjoying it, soaking it in and trusting the process.
That one stretched out really quickly on Tyler. She's up and out. Still has her lead priority now with Lulu. Tyler on a 5:10 from John Peisel. Called the next step as we pull in with Betty Lou. Nice hollow section. And incomplete again, but she's had some great attempts here. Still just chasing a 3.68 to avoid the elimination round. Yeah, Jesse, it's interesting with your thoughts on Carissa preparing even for an event like this. She's never really had to prepare like this before. It's always about a world title. It's all about the entire season. For her, preparing for this event kind of in a more of a celebratory way. I'm really interested to see how that'll translate to her performance.
And I hope she's taking it that way, because there's probably so much going on in her head right now, like all the emotions that she went through the past 13 years on tour, and it's not easy to make that decision to stop. And mostly someone that has so much potential like her, she can still win plenty of world titles, you know. So, but that being said, it's a beautiful backdoor day. Like for her, she couldn't ask for anything better, and like suits her surfing so well. I mean, we can't expect fireworks from her, and she's gonna have so much fun no matter what turns out to be.
Yeah, and the thing about Riss is she's put in the work. Look at that; these signs are all up and down the highway here on the North Shore, and there's just going to be people rolling in to see this beautiful moment. But she can just enjoy this. She does the work. You know, as soon as last year's season wrapped up, she took a break. She went on holidays. And then she got straight back to the North Shore as soon as the winter started rolling in these swells, and just was like, I want to get up, I want to get up pipe, I want to get out back door, I want to get comfortable. And she's open about, just like Tyler, just saying, I want to improve out pipe, I want to get comfortable, I know I have the talent, and I just want to push myself and feel those butterflies and push through them. And, you know, even days where it's small, tiny, 1 foot on shore, she gets out there and she trains. She's first one out, and she puts in the work in every type of condition. And I remember I messaged her, a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, the amount of work you put in that no one would know about, and you just haven't stopped. It's just really admirable and inspiring, and that work doesn't go unnoticed.
Special time for Carissa Moore and her legacy as she prepares for the opening round coming up next in heat number 2 with Sally Fitzgibbons and Brisa Hennessy. Here we go. We've got Betty Lou trying to get out of third. Nice, clean Forehand hook, throws it down again to have a nice combination of turns. So she made an adjustment there. Really smart move there. Was going for barrels, her favorite thing, but adjusted to maneuvers just like Lulu here. Nice clean style on the wrapping turn again from Luana Silva. And the paddle battle will begin for the two best friends that have been surfing against each other their entire life here on Oahu.
How many paddle battles do you guys reckon?
Oh my goodness. Probably hard to
Hear the
count.
welcome house next door absolutely screaming right now. Luana has been setting up camp there with Leandra Dora, her coach, and yeah, they're going nuts right now. They want Luana to win this paddle battle, but being best friends, what a wild, wild moment. It's, you know, you're best friends, but when you go out in the lineup, you leave it all out there.
100%, and that's the type of person mostly Sakura is. Like, she's so competitive on anything.
Yes.
We were playing pickleball the other day, and she wanted to, like, I blew it, like I was playing with her, and I blew it, chewed the first two swings I had, and she looked at me. She was like, is that the partner I have right now? Like, come on.
Did you step it up?
Yeah, I stepped
Or
up.
did
We
you get
won the
scared?
game
You got nervous?
against Ross and Tachi, but yeah.
Didn't want to let her down.
Man, she was bummed. But one thing that I liked about her in this heat right now, she identified, even though she's not going to get the biggest score, she identified, like, it's tricky out there, like, the time's running down, like, I need to get something on the board, you know? And she went for turns. I think Lulu's still going to get the better of that exchange because her wave was steeper, a little bit more critical. But she got the ball rolling, you know? She didn't have much time, and she was sitting for, like, trying to find that perfect barrel, but it's hard out there. It's not that easy.
Yeah, I feel like the girls as well, they've been sitting deep, but there's been a few that Sakura's pulled into, but they've run more along that 8th section a bit wider, so she's just found herself slightly too deep and not able to project through those tubes. So, yeah, unfortunate for these ladies not really being able to find the barrel opportunity.
15 seconds to go. Betty Lou with second priority. If she stays in third, she'll be in the elimination round. And stand by for updates to see if we'll have that round out there today. And Luana Silva looks like she'll run out the clock. She'll stay in second. And Tyler Wright, kind of untouchable with her start. 5.5, 6.17. She knows what it's like to final in this event. Her wife Lily loving that performance, and she will go straight into the round of 16. Up next, it's a big one to watch for surf fans. Carissa Moore hits the lineup as she takes on Fitzgibbons and Brisa Hennessy.
When I was younger and I was dreaming, I dreamt of the first world title. I didn't really dream of winning 10 or 6. There was never a number.
5-time world champion. Give it up to Carissa Moore.
Defining what success means to me, for so long it has been the trophy or standing on top of the podium. But at the end of the day, I'm winning because I have an amazing life. And the people that really love you are gonna be there no matter if you win or if you lose. I'm very honored to be up there with the world champions of history. It's so cool.
I don't think I could have asked for anything more or written it any better, and I'm really grateful to God, the universe, and everyone behind me. But yeah, I wouldn't be here today without all the love, so thanks guys.
Carissa Moore, one of the best of all time, taking on a whole new chapter in her life, and we're so proud of her making this big decision, announcing it to the world, so we get to celebrate her moments here in the jersey, making the statement that she's stepping away from competition. We'll see her here at Pipe in Tahiti and also competing for a gold medal like she already achieved in Tokyo 2020. Her legacy is incredible in the ocean, but also on land, always giving back, and really special that she gets to have this moment right here on her home island of Oahu. But look at all those moments in history where she became the undisputed world champion 5 times. First one back in 2011. Her first year on tour was the year before that. She finished 3rd in the world, but she was still finishing high school. So she had her mind in a couple of different places and still almost ended up winning the whole thing, Laura.
Yeah, I know. And I was my first year on tour was the first year that Carissa won her world title, and it was such a beautiful moment, and I'll never forget it. And we were in France, and it was just it was so cool. And she's just gone on to do the most amazing things. And like you said, Joe, she's just one of a kind person. Her heart is so beautiful. You'd meet her and you'd think, how are you a competitive beast? Like you're so kind. You're so empathetic and compassionate.
As we had a couple of waves written right off the buzzer, Fitzgibbons got her start and got the exit. 4.33 already on the board. And also Brisa Hennessy, Jesse.
Yeah, it looked like a nice down the line wave for Brisa. Read it very well because that was a tricky wave to read. You could stall yourself a little too much in the beginning and not being able to get that second session that she's going through right there. And just sneaked under, doggy door just enough. So both nice rides to start, nothing crazy, but great way to start a heat.
Carissa now will sit with priority. And it's really fitting that Sally's in the water with her after all the memories they've had together, watching the vision of, gosh, some of my favorite moments over at Honolulu Bay. A couple of their finals out there were some of my favorite heats of all time. Trading barrels back and forth. Great to see Sally back on tour to kind of be able to celebrate this moment with us as Carissa moves on.
Absolutely. These women have such an incredible history. Sally's been on tour Carissa's been on tour the whole time Sally has, and it's just, it's really, really special. And I'm sure these women will be just giving each other some smiles and side eyes going, look how far we've come, look how much we've grown, and what a ride it's been, and it's not over yet. Best is yet to come.
Certainly. Remember, Carissa won this event last year. Actually hasn't even missed a final at Pipeline since the women have come over here just in the last few seasons. And that's a statement for a veteran. You know, over her whole career, she didn't have to prepare for Pipe, but she did. She wanted to be a part of what used to be specialty heats during the Pipe event in the past, and she'd win those going back door. So she was always challenging herself with this wave. Brisa now driving off the bottom. The Costa Rican lights it up again. That's her powerful frontside gouge that she's brought to the tour ever since she debuted as a wild card at Honolulu Bay. And this is also a celebration moment for Brisa. You know, tough off season, recovering from a lot of different things. Now she's looking like she's back physically, and so great to see her in a jersey again as Sally flies out the back.
Wow, that second turn for Brisa there, that was some absolute flair and power. And I got to spend a swell in November over in Fiji with Brisa. It was a late season swell, and she was absolutely charging. She actually broke her finger out there charging, but just being smart here. She had the 4.33, so she was like, let's back this baby up. And going into the lip there, this turn was just so cool. The backwash hit her at the perfect time, and it just added to that flair and the way the tail kicked out. Tyler Wright-esque, just going sending spray to the moon and throwing that tail. Love that flair from Carissa.
Really enjoyed that turn, Jesse.
Yeah, that was impressive. And just what Laura mentioned, she just timed it perfectly and gave that extra spark. And what I really liked about that turn too is that usually when you push that hard, your feet tend to move a little bit forward, mostly your back foot, and she just kept it straight, solid on her on top of the board, and that was great. It showed greatness of power right there and how much ability she has. That was a highlight of the day so far for me. That was a beautiful turn.
Opening round, still at 22.5 minutes to go, and heat 2, a big one for Carissa Moore. Strider's seen a lot of huge moments in Carissa's career. I know we can name a lot here, Waz, but do you have one that's really standing out, a big moment in Carissa's career?
Yeah, you know what? I think there's obviously a bunch of them, and you know, the world title moments where you get to be with them in that emotional moment where they fill up with all these, you know, the tears and the happiness and the glowing. And that's almost like probably the most overwhelming moment, but I think the best moment, to be honest, was watching Carissa Moore drive through the barrel right here at back door and just get spit out of the tube right at me and just come up to me and just sit down and just was so elated with the biggest, happiest smile, filled with joy, and it was just a pure moment of Carissa, you know, the golden girl that just is so excited about surfing and being a surfer and having that tube time in the middle of a heat and just stopping for a second to appreciate it. And it just sticks out in my head, so memorable. And I just want to say thank you, Carissa, for sharing those moments.
That's right. Strider will be celebrating her legacy, well, forever, but especially this year. So well decorated, 5-time world champion. She's actually still the youngest to ever win a world title. Achieved that at 18 years of age. 28 championship tour wins, which included 3 last year. Pipe, Margaret River, the Surf Ranch. Had another season where she was really in the yellow jersey for the majority of 2023. 2010 Rookie of the Year, finished 3rd in the world, and all prepared for Tokyo 2020, representing the United States, the first ever gold medalist for surfing in the Olympics. And she was able to enjoy this big mural on a huge building in Honolulu, right next to the great Duke Kahanamoku, and that meant so much to her. An emotional moment to see her face next to the Duke. And every time you drive by and see it when you're in town, it actually like takes your breath away for how big that moment was, not just for Carissa, but for the sport of surfing. You know, her legacy, the ambassador of Aloha, it's like it needs to be there for eternity for all that she's done for this sport, Jesse.
Yeah, that's amazing to see, mostly for surfing, you know, be by Duke, with such a special place for her as well in Hawaii, you know, in like the center of the town, and she probably passes by, and like you mentioned too, there's signs everywhere for Riz all around the island, so this is an emotional moment for her, and yeah, I'm excited.
Well, we've been into her headspace, but let's hear from Carissa herself as she was looking forward to competing at the Lexus Pipe Pro.
Yeah, so my decision to step away from the championship tour is a decision that has been building in my heart for a few years now, a few seasons. I think I've been almost struggling to find that same motivation to compete with the same intensity, and I have been like drawn to kind of see what's outside of this realm. You know, I think I've dedicated most of my life to competitive surfing and being in a jersey for the next competition, and I was like, you know, I want to go on surf trips again. I want to improve my surfing. I want to make a movie. I would love to dive more into my nonprofit. I want to spend more time with my husband and maybe start a family at some point. Like, those are all things that are really important to me.
Excited for Carissa Moore, obviously so well thought out in her entire career, but also in her personal life, and we couldn't be happier for herself, for Luke. Luke is such an incredible human being, always by her side. And Luke's one of those people on tour you're going to miss deeply as well. He's always reliable for a calm, cool, collected hello, and always has time for people behind the scenes. So yeah, it's like we're going to miss Riss, of course, and we're also going to miss Luke being around all these big events. But now 18:25 to go. We're still waiting for Riss to get her opener. She's holding on to priority and just needs a 4.83 to move into the top 2 to avoid the elimination round. But her track record out here is unbelievable and puts in a lot of reps here at backdoor and pipeline. And we got to bring in AJ to celebrate this big moment for Carissa Moore.
Yeah, Joey, you guys are talking about some of the amazing moments that she has had in the water. Of course, all the hardware that she brings home. And what it means is that she impacts people right back here on Oahu. If you take a look behind me, these are the signs that Laura was talking about earlier. These are all over the North Shore. And of course, it's sparked by her greatness in the water, but it's overpowered by who she is as a human being. She does so much work with More Aloha, trying to inspire young women to be fearless, to live authentically. And one of the things that I always will remember about Riss and love seeing her do is those rising tides that we do for all of the CT events. And before Pipeline, she was out there towing the girls with her foot, having them hold on to her out at Turtle Bay at Jamie O'Brien's experience. And it's just so cool to see the way that she gives back to the community, inspires the next generation of girls to be the best they can be in the water, out of the water as human beings. It's her well-roundedness that I'm just going to remember the most and miss so much on tour, Joey.
Oh, that's right, AJ. Well said. AJ delivered a beautiful moment, tribute for Carissa Moore that took Carissa by surprise, and she was caught off guard, and that's when the tears started flying, and she got more than a standing ovation at the Lexus WSL Awards. We were talking moments ago about this mural that's in Honolulu. That's such a brilliant shot. Carissa there with the artist, Kamehameha, and you can see her right there next to the Duke. And when you do see it in person, it is truly breathtaking.
Yeah, I drove past this for the first time the other day, and I almost had a car crash. I looked at it for way too long. It is absolutely beautiful. But yeah, so take a little look, but watch where you're driving.
Exactly. And I think there's the deep connection, though, with the Duke. Obviously, a gold medalist in swimming and the ambassador of Aloha and surfing to the world. He brought surfing to so many new locations. That's why we're always thanking the Duke for giving us our favorite pastime, giving us the tour. You know, it all started with Duke, and he had a vision. He'd be quoted saying, one day surfing will be included in the Olympics, and I think Carissa was more than proud that she got to be the first to win a gold medal and got to bring it home to Hawaii.
Yeah, that's just history being made. She has done that actually so many times, and she never stops impressing us. It's impressive what she can do.
Yeah, Carissa Moore is a name that's going to be cemented in Hawaiian history for ever and ever and ever. And it's just, she's an icon of the sport. She's an icon of life. And I feel like when I was young, she used to have this blog. It was called the Carissa Moore Surf Journal, and it was where I first got to see her surf. And it was back in the bloody vintage days before any social media, and she'd put up these weekly journals, diary entries, and with a little clip of her surfing. And she got this wave and did about 6 360s on it. She was surfing on the South Shore somewhere, and that was where I first was like, oh my goodness, Carissa Moore is just the best surfer I'd ever seen at that point in my life.
And let's back that up with some numbers. This is going to be baffling. Carissa Moore, when you focus on 119 events on the championship tour, look at that average placing. So an equal third is a semifinal loss. An equal fifth is a quarterfinal loss. So 3.7 average place for all these years is unbelievable. Best on tour with all of these numbers. Excellent heat percentage, 25.5. Winning percentage, 69.3. Just making quarterfinals, 83.2% of the time. All of those numbers, best on tour. As she steps away from competition, there's going to be some opportunities for new names to pick up some big wins, and it'll be interesting to see how her longtime rivals remotivate without that solid Carissa Moore energy in the draw. And quickly to mention, Steph Gilmore taking 1 year off, already accepting the wild card for next year. So two of the biggest names of the sport rerouting in 2024. Number-wise in this seed, Brisa has the lead. Pocket 5.33s. Fitzgibbons in second with a 4.33, and Carissa still holding court with priority, as we'll catch up with one of Carissa's longtime rivals, two-time world champ Tyler Wright with AJ.
That's right, Joe. Tyler, winning your very first heat here of 2024. And one of the things that was pointed out during your heat is how much time you've put in here at Pipeline, whether it's sitting in the channel or getting waves yourself. How did that help you start 2024 off strong?
It's always funny to feel like a sense of confidence out here, because I don't know if I ever really feel it. And I also don't feel like I catch that many waves out here. I feel like that's a really like big task. But I have a team that really values like kind of going out there, and actually, to be honest, I just value going out there, sitting it, feeling the ocean, looking at my markers and my pins on the reef, and like also like feeling how the ocean is moving and like the energy kind of in it. I think it gives you a lot of feedback. So when you're in a heat, you can kind of like, you already have like a really well-established relationship with what the energy is doing, what the water's doing, and how it's kind of feeling out there.
It certainly showed up today. First heat in the water, but you found your rhythm early. Walk us through your goals for 2024, starting out with a heat win. Can't be off the panel.
Honestly, I kind of, I put a lot of effort in the preseason, and, I really want to kind of focus on just doing my best, and really exploring that as well. Like, I feel like, for a lot of years, like you're always kind of figuring this thing out. It's like 13 years in and still kind of taking layers, cleaning things up. And I got to the end of last season, and I was like, cool, like I was in good form, but maybe I didn't have the clearest intentions on what I wanted. So just kind of mindfully taking myself for a few more deeper questions around why I'm out there and what's really important for me in the heat. I've lived a big career, so at this point I feel like I have a lot of choice in how I'm being in these moments, and I think that's a really important part just being present and being super open to nature and kind of where I'm at, and just being honest with it.
Fair enough. Honest we love, and excited to see you back in the water, moving on to the next round. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thanks, AJ. Thanks, Tyler Wright, getting the first win of the season. They looked great out there as well, and really looked good on that 510 from Paizel. It's out of a batch of boards that he made for Tyler about a month ago. So she's been testing them immediately, looking really comfortable. Got nice and barreled in that heat, and she's into the round of 16.
Yeah, and I know previous years, obviously Tyler's moved up a couple of inches this year in her boards, but I know she had this 1.58 last year that she would ride in all conditions, and she was like, no, one board, all waves, and I feel like that's been a trend this year, that a lot of the crew, like she said, she's worked hard in the off season. She's put up a lot of social posts of her in the gym, just getting so strong mentally and physically, and yeah, she's moved up boards and it looks really, really nice.
Pretty exciting times in pro surfing. As we know, we have so many new names to celebrate, like for Tyler Wright, Carissa Moore, Steph Gilmore. When they were teenagers, they were celebrated back then as the next big thing, and they certainly delivered, with all the hype behind them for good reason. And now we've got this young crew coming up quickly, focusing even on the World Junior Championships with Sierra Kerr, Josh Kerr's daughter. She has so many strengths to look forward to. She kind of has that kind of game changer type approach with her ability in the air, her ability in the barrel, and just her competitive headspace. It's a frightening package for the top 17, and we're really starting to count the days for Sierra Kerr to make her debut. With now 9:40 on the clock, we're still waiting with anticipation of Carissa Moore's opening wave. And, well, it might be happening right now. Carissa Moore pulls in under the hood, and she'll get taken out on her first attempt to get a number. She'll still be in third. Sal in second. Brisa still our heat leader. And good news for Rish, she's got plenty of time. Front row seats for her good friend Sally to pull in super deep. Sal loves a big front side barrel, and look for many more of those attempts from the Australian after we come back from a quick Bonsoy brew break.
Third quarter blue.
Flashing back to last season, Carissa Moore unstoppable at the season opener at Pipeline. Great reads at backdoor, beautiful lines drawn on the open face, and she's had ultra consistent moments at this venue. Ever since it transitioned from Honolulu Bay to Pipeline, she's featured in every single final, but how about that technique and approach, pulling up and under in the most critical part of the wave, and absolutely loves the intensity of this place, has worked with a lot of people to grow, and her courage out here. Loves the challenge of pipe and backdoor, and absolutely loves that it's on her home island of Oahu. Those chairs up the beach we've seen so many times, 28 times in championship tour moments, as she pulls in and gets her first completion of the matchup, chasing a 4.5 to move into second, Jesse.
Yeah, smart move for her. She needs to get things going. There's only 6 minutes left, a little over 6 minutes, and her opponents, like Brissa's already sitting in a pretty solid heat total for today, and Sally already has kind of a backup of a 4.33, so she needs to get quickly on the board and capitalize, and that's what she did right here.
Great technique, Laura.
Yeah, she paddled straight out around pipe, and that was the first wave, that she went, and then just it put her in this deep spot for this this wave under priority to be able to just really put in a 3.5 here. So she's right back in it, and that's exactly what she needs to do at this point of the heat. I think I'd love to see her move a bit further down the reef now without priority and see if she can get one of these smaller inside drainers. She's so good at reading these waves, but I feel like with 5.5 to go, all the other ladies are going to stick pretty close to her now.
Yeah, and that's what happens in these situations. Like when it's time to change your strategy, you know, like the conditions are tricky today. It's a little bit smaller, so less barrels being offered, and it's time sometimes to go to turns, you know, like create opportunities, and she's great at that. She's 5-time world champ, so she has to do that plenty of times. So she's trying to like actually find that rhythm. But like Laura mentioned, like those girls are not going to give her an inch because they also know that.
So true. Getting into the 5-minute mark for opening round heat number 2. Carissa Moore getting her score in at a 3.5. Now only needs a 1.84 to move into second. Sally Fitzgibbons has been runner-up in the world multiple times to Carissa Moore. They've had some of the most entertaining heats throughout the last 13 plus years. Sally getting back on tour, which is great. Just a brief hiatus, and a strong competitor, especially in waves of consequence. Remember Sally going back-to-back at Cloudbreak, but also getting really barreled at Karamas when it was on tour. A complete package, and great to have her back for another great year on the championship tour. 4:15 to go, so no takers on that last little set. Carissa still has the lead and priority, Laura.
Yeah, unfortunately that set just pushed down the beach a bit too far, almost hit the off-the-wall section, and just didn't really come in where backdoor really needed it. But looks like there's a little lump here. We'll see if anyone has a go.
And no takers again, so a critical time in the heat. No one's eliminated from the event in the opening round. Last heat we saw Betty Lou stay in third, so she's already going to be positioned in the elimination round. And that's what you're trying to avoid. Top 2 move on to the round of 16. And important to get a jump start on some big heat wins here at Pipe, because that mid-season cut comes up very quickly. You have to really perform to be in the top 10, be able to compete for a world title through the back end of the year. And the bonus, having Cloudbreak back on tour, is extra special. Carissa takes a look. Higher priorities with Sally. Fitz throws down a clean wrapping turn. Second carve there. She's definitely going to get rid of a 1. And throws down the third and final turn. Lands in a gutter and falls. Big wide open pit for Brisa Hennessy. Still traveling for a moment and ends up getting clipped. But one of the more hollow barrels we've had this morning. Carissa's turn, knifes the takeoff, pulls up and under, and it's spitting. Can Carissa find an exit? And somewhere along the line she goes down. There's her mayhem popping up. Regathers herself, but is right back to business because she knows priority's available with 2:30 to go.
Wow, that was so exciting. And yeah, Carissa firstly really selling Sally on that first wave, and Sal turning in a 1-point ride. Carissa, a really nice long traveler, and that set just came in and it looked it looked amazing from a mile away, and just came in and was perfect back to. Unfortunately, look, she's still got the smile there, Riss. That was an epic drop.
Yeah, looked great right when she pulled up and under, and then things got a little tricky when it started really moving down the line. Brisas, wow, what a great effort as we check out the replays here, starting with Fitzgibbons, Jesse.
Yeah, we're going to start with Sally here. I thought it was a smart move at first because the time's ticking, but that wave, it was obviously a turn wave, and she could have capitalized a little bit more right there, but she ended up falling, so missed opportunity, and then this two waves came. Beautiful wave for Brisa. Just behind the back door right there, started to run through, but the wave closed out, and that was the third wave. This Carissa's was the best wave of the set so far. Beautiful wave, almost got too casual right there. That was an excellent wave. It was a missed opportunity for her, but see right here, nice drop, and right here she just stands tall and she lets it go. And when that happened, that foam ball hit her, and she wasn't maybe expecting that much of a foam ball, and she ended up getting stuck and falling. Missed opportunity there for Riss because that was a beautiful wave.
Wow, what a view from the water angle there. She was able to actually enjoy that vision, but like Jesse said, foam ball caught her. Riss might check this one out. Knifing the takeoff, beautiful read, and she's still flying down the line and once again getting caught. So many close calls here in heat number 2. Very close to excellent range scores on back-to-back decisions. Riss still third, still chasing a 3:17, and she might have to face the elimination round. On the wave that Sally went to turn, she did improve on her one, but left some points out there with the fall in the third maneuver, so 2-3-3. And Brisa coming close to another crazy make. She'll still keep her first two waves she started off the matchup with, as Carissa points her board towards the beach. She's going to regroup, and then she'll prepare for the elimination round to look for a spot in the round of 16.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one for Riss. I mean, she got some absolute vision there, which any surfer can love and appreciate, but just didn't get the reward there. Like you said, Jesse, they would have been two excellent scoring rides, and she could have turned the heat with 16 points plus at the end there, but unfortunately just couldn't get out of those couple. And we've seen her do it in the past, and she's got it in her, but would have felt nice to just get that tube time anyway.
Looking forward to seeing Carissa Moore coming up in the elimination round. Coming up next, Caroline Marks, our reigning world champ, hits the lineup with India Robinson and Moana Jones-Wong. We'll bring in Kaipo and Felicity for the call.
Welcome back to Lexus Pipe Pro, presented by YETI. A surprising event this morning. Carissa Moore, third place in her opening round heat. We'll see Carissa in the elimination round potentially later on today. But of course, we're celebrating the career of Carissa Moore throughout this entire event. And thank you for joining us here at Pipeline, and welcome to the set. I'm Kuiper Guerrero, along with the fabulous Felicity Flick Palmentier. That was a surprise, but I guess it just goes to show you how much of a chess match it is out here today at Pipeline, mostly backdoor, for the competitors in this opening round for the women.
For sure, it's definitely a chess game, and I think today is going to be a day of adaptability because, you know, I think what's going to happen is we're going to see backdoor pulse turn on and off, and there's going to be those sleepier heats. There's going to be those ones where there's not those, you know, traditional backdoor drainers that you're looking for. So yeah, adaptability and flexibility is definitely going to be on the cards, and I think we're going to see, you know, a lot of these women maybe getting their backup scores going to turns. So sort of one of those days where you have to maybe put a little bit of that ego aside because, you know, obviously you come here, the Pipeline Pro, you know, you're expecting to be barreled at either backdoor or Pipeline. So yeah, pretty crucial that maybe sometimes you just got to forget that and be like, okay, what have I got to do to get through this heat?
Here's the next heat, Flick. We got Caroline Marks, our reigning world champ. Moana Jones, she's a former champ out here, and India Robinson. So we're going to see how this starts off. Of course, third place moves into that elimination round, potentially running this afternoon, first and second onto the round of 16, where we start our head-to-head matchups for the women. But yeah, back to that Carissa conversation is, it wasn't for lack of effort. I think she had, you know, she was smart with her priority. She got very, very barreled, just unlucky not to make it out. So I feel like it's a risk-reward thing. Mm-hmm. And in this round, because it's a non-elimination round, you can take a little more risk. And rather than, because Carissa was certainly not safe surfing, she was going deep in backdoor barrels.
100%, and we obviously know that it's completely within her wheelhouse. I mean, she's won out here before as well, so completely within her wheelhouse.
Speaking of winning, the yellow jersey's out in the water with Caroline Marks, our reigning world champ. Caroline is such a incredible young career, just 21 years old, but she's done so much, including winning a world title. So I'm really, really, really excited to see what Caroline is going to bring in this heat and how she's going to start off the 2024 season.
For sure. I think there's that sort of age-old question, you know, is she going to continue that momentum into this season, or, you know, how does her mindset look coming into this new year with fresh eyes and a world title to her name? I mean, at such a young age, it's so incredible. So yeah, it's going to be really cool to see her open up this heat and sort of the mindset and where she's at.
Brisa Hennessy, she won the last heat. Brisa's with AJ.
Thanks, Kaipo. Yeah, Brisa, you told me when you came out of the water, you just felt like you had your rhythm out there at backdoor. What did you do to get that rhythm early in the heat?
Yeah, actually on the paddle out, I was like, how crazy is this sport, right? People can be in rhythm, you can be so in the flow, and then you can be out of rhythm. And luckily today was my day, and I felt like I really, connected to Pipeline. I haven't really been able to catch too many waves recently. I've been having a lot of shockers, so it was I'm very grateful.
It's so fun to see you out there thriving, especially with all you've been through in this last year, what it's taken to get back to this moment. What have you had to work through to get a chance to surf here at Pipe?
Gosh, too many things to explain, I think, on air, but gosh, I think I had to really dig deep, and I think I had to face my fears and really just work on, I think, personal growth and like who I wanted to be in the water and out of the water, and went through a couple of health issues, but I think it's all about mindset, and I refuse to be a victim of my health issues and my fears and things that bring me down. So I'm coming into this year with just a new positive headspace. Honestly, just honored and grateful to be on this platform and be able to surf again. So super, super stoked.
With that mindset, what are your goals? What are your intentions for 2024?
Gosh, so many goals, but I think the main one is to, you say it constantly, being in the present moment. I feel like surfers do that so well. But I think the last few years I've been on tour, I've been always trying to get to the end, getting there while I was never really here. And so, you know, within the losses, you know, within the high moments, I want to be really present, and I want to enjoy every moment of being a human and a competitor and a surfer, and just breathe it in, because it's inspiring stuff to like surf against Carissa and Sally and all the women on tour and be inspired by the guys. So I'm just feeling fulfilled.
We're excited to have you back, Carissa. Congratulations.
Muchísimas gracias a todos en Costa Rica. Estoy muy agradecida por todos ustedes. Realmente es porque tu apoyo y tu amor estoy aquí en este momento. Muchísimas gracias.
Pretty profound interview. Flick?
Carissa speaks so well, and I love what she was saying. You know, obviously she touched on the fact that she's had a couple of health issues, but sometimes what comes with that, and you can clearly see in that posted interview with AJ, is that it comes with silver linings and perspective and new eyes. And sometimes, and I can relate to this, being a competitor and growing up in this sort of environment, it becomes all-consuming, and sometimes it's hard to see what really matters in life, and the tour and competing, and this becomes your everything, and so it should, you know, this is what you're doing as your career, and it's your passion as well, right? But sometimes that can also be quite negative in a way, and sometimes it takes those real reality checks in life to really make you realize, like, you know, what is important to you, and I can see it already that she's coming at this year with a new sense of gratitude for just even being able to surf, you know, and sometimes when you can strip everything back like that, amazing things happen.
Yeah, that was some bigger life comments there rather than just surfing. It's just surfing. We got 20 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. No wave ridden as of yet. We talked about a former champ out there, Moana Jones. She's in the white jersey, 24 years old, from the North Shore of Oahu. And Moana, just by her positioning, well, it looked like she was just lying up for a left. But let's take a look at a little bit more about Moana Jones and some of her winning moments. Moana, 2022, our pipe champion, came in as a wild card. Previous to this season, she won the QS Pipeline handedly. A couple months later, she came back to the big stage, and Moana Jones put in an undisputed performance, dominant over the entire field. The wild card makes history, taking a pipe title, and that's what we called her, the queen of pipeline, Moana Jones. A lot to be said by this young woman, Moana. We call her the queen of pipeline. She's also, you know, has a degree in applied science of Hawaiian and indigenous health and healing. Talk about a holistic person. Moana Jones is just that. I say it's just surfing sometimes, and you got to put that into a compartment. You can see the multifaceted talent of Moana Jones as just a human being.
For sure. I think Moana has come a long way, especially in the last 5 years, not only just as a surfer, but as a person and how she shows up in life. But yeah, I've been so impressed to watch her trajectory, and sort of, you know, I first met Moana when she was just a micro grom, and she was actually, you know, back in the day sponsored by Billabong, and she was this little kid just absolutely shredding, and I was so impressed by her surfing. And then she sort of took a little bit of a step back there for a while, and didn't compete, went and got the degree, found love, and then all of a sudden now she's back, like bigger than ever and better than ever. And also, you know, that's another great way to get perspective on surfing, is to take a couple of years off and sort of redefine what surfing means to you. And now she's become an absolute specialist here at Pipeline, and there's only one way to do that, and that is to put so much time in the water here. And out of all these three women in this lineup here, I mean, there's no shadow of a doubt she has logged the most time on this reef. She would know every single inch. You know, she right now is knowing exactly where she wants to sit and what waves she wants to catch.
Yeah, I mean, Moana Jones, actually, you know, her childhood, she's kind of a tomboy, hanging out with Makana Pang and Baron Mamiya, Kalani Rivero, that whole crew. And she tells a great story where those boys moved on, you know, from surfing V-Land and so forth, all moved on, and Rockies started surfing Pipeline. And all her friends were now surfing Pipeline. And that almost pushed her to make an early go at Pipe. And I think the lesson that we can learn from Moana is the reps at Pipeline doesn't necessarily have to be in competition. Really, to be a good pipeline surfer, you just got to be here on the regular. And 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 she's proof of that, Moana Jones is.
For sure. I think she's just also a proof of that statement. You're a product of your environment, right? Where you grow up, where you live and breathe, where you spend the most time. And for her, this isn't not normal. This is normal. Like, I wake up, I check the surf, and I go surf Pipeline. It's not like, obviously there was probably a little bit of a moment there where she's like, all right, this is Pipe, and I respect Pipeline a lot, and, but you want to get good somewhere. All it is, people obviously have natural talent, and they talk about that, but what it really is just putting time in.
Yeah.
You want to be good at something, you've got to put the time in, and she has put time in here. I heard her say that, there's surfs that she's paddled out for in the very beginning and early days be massive, and she wouldn't even be catching a wave, but just being out there in the lineup, identifying the waves that she wanted to take off on, and fast forward a few years, she's the queen of Pipe.
Yeah. So, great job. Caroline Marks, we want to pivot to that because she's our defending world champ. We haven't seen her stand up on a wave in competition yet in 2024, but let's look back at 2023 lower trestles where Caroline Marks, Felicity, she seemed unbeatable, and she was.
Oh, she was. Her backhand was absolutely on fire this day, and as a fellow Goofy myself, well, both of us, I love to see it. I love to see Goofy's doing well, and I love to see Goofy's winning, but it just looked like her wave selection was on point. For me, it was just a clear distinction between her waves, had that really clear, clean, smooth face to them, and yeah, she went on an absolute tear. Just she's able to have that ability to get so low and compressed off the bottom, which allows her to really release the fins and get so critical in the top there. But yeah, love to see it. Love to see a Goofy get a win, and love to see Caroline do it too, to sort of break that mold from the whole narrative Steph, Tyler and Carissa. So we got a new world champ.
Is it the dawning of a new generation of women's professional surfing and a new crew coming in? It could be, looking at Caroline Marks and her 2023 season. There's a groundbreaking season for Marks. 3 event wins. Her average place, 3rd. Heat winning percentage of 74%. That's the highest percentage of 2023. And that average heat score, again, top of the list there in 2023. 12.36 average heat score for Caroline Marks. I forget, because she's been on tour, this is her 6th year on tour, I forget that she's only 21 years old, actually.
It's just crazy,
right?
Isn't it? It's absolutely crazy, and you got to think that she's got so much more longevity left in this sport. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the evolution of her career, and as she grows more and more into a woman and into herself. And yeah, it's incredible. She's already got a world title. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how this year's going to pan out for her, and all the early indications, I think, just from little conversations I've had with her, she said that last year was the best year of her life, and it's going to be hard to top that, but she reckons that she had a really perfect off-season, and obviously processing the win, taking it in, celebrating it, but now knuckling down and getting into that pre-season, and she's rocked up here and she's feeling really good.
Well, just a reminder, we're down to 14 minutes in this heat. We started with 30 minutes on the clock. There are no restarts in this round. So now our 3 surfers, Flick, have just backed themselves into a 14-minute heat.
Backed themselves into a little bit of a corner. But it's going to get interesting. That's one thing. It's going to make it a little bit spicy.
Yeah. Hey, Caroline Marks, I mean, she's won 17 amateur national titles. A lot of those amateur events, they're 15-minute heats, so maybe she's just got to put in her heart right now, her inner Grom, and get busy on a 15-minute heat. This would be a start of a local amateur event time, so maybe that's the mindset.
Well, the good thing about out here is you can surf a 15-minute heat. I mean, I saw guys all day yesterday surfing 4 minutes. I mean, John got 2 excellent scores in 4 minutes out there. I mean, obviously he knows this wave like the back of his hand, but it's totally doable out here. So, I think one thing is that it's going to be very entertaining when someone does pull the trigger.
And right now, even kind of the mindset is that we have open priority right now, so nobody has an unimpeded right away still, because we have an established priority, so this is old school right now. Whoever's the deepest gets the wave.
Yeah, and you can see that they're hanging right next to each other. You know what? I'd also probably believe that they might... Here we go.
Moana finds the left. It's a little stall off the takeoff. Going to go to turns. They're late to the lip. And Moana Jones will have a fractional score to begin with, but now we can start looking at our priority rotation.
Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, Moana's still looking for that sort of pipeline wave, as we know that that's her strength. I mean, she loves to surf pipe, and she does it so well. So she's still trying to find those little pipe waves that's going to allow her to get barreled. But, I mean, this morning, it's been all about backdoor. So it'll be interesting to see if she is willing to be a little bit flexible there and take off and go right and try and get barreled. I have seen her absolutely charge before backhand, so...
So when she won back in 2022, that QS events, Moana, one of her scores was on a right. And she was like, and she said, like, I never go right. You know? And she was like, even more probably, well, we're going to get back to that because we got a quick in and out. That's India Robinson. But she said she was even more intimidated on the backhand out here just because she's always looking at the left. But she's probably going to have to put that into play. Looking so far of what the day's presented.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, today, just from what I've seen this morning, watching early morning heats, I mean, it has been all about backdoor for sure. One thing that I've noticed too, and I think I already said it at the start of this heat, but I think we're going to see women getting through heats with turns.
Yeah.
And well, we already have today. That's what history showed. And I think you just can't let that sort of ego get in your way and be like, okay, like, you don't have to be a hero today and get two amazing backdoor waves, because reality is that your backup is probably going to be turns.
Well, right now, nobody's broken through as of yet. We are going to take a blonde soy brew break. We're going to be back and see who breaks away here at the Lexus Pipe Pro presented by YETI.
are back. I'm so excited for this very first Rising Tides of the 2024 WSL-CT season.
This is what surfing is all about, is about sharing it with other people, especially the next generation, inspiring and empowering them to go after their dreams and to live fearlessly.
I'm grateful to be surrounded by the people you look up to.
I would love to be on the championship tour because I would just like to make my family proud and just win.
Okay, we all gonna get some good party waves?
Yeah!
Sure. Thinking to myself when I was their age, this would have been the coolest thing ever to come surf with some of my idols and heroes.
And that's where you actually start to see the pieces come together for these girls, because it goes from oh, I dream of being on tour someday, to I know what it takes to get there.
Our future is in good hands.
Back at the opening round for the women here at the Lexus Pipe Pro, presented by YETI Kuiper Girl, along with Felicity Palmentier. Zooming down on the lineup, checking out the bottom, checking out the peaks here at Pipeline. We got a rider, Moana Jones-Wong. Take it off on that one with no opportunity. So still yet to any of the surfers in this 3-surfer heat have any breakaway scores so far. All fractional scores on the board. Caroline Marks now, our defending world champ, holding down priority. And Flick, I would think at this point, Caroline has probably identified that holding on priority, she can win this heat potentially with a single good wave, given the numbers that are on the board.
For sure. Looks like she's kind of having a bit of a look here.
Gets into this one. And Caroline, unfortunately, unable to find any opportunity on that backdoor wave. Ruffle coming in through the lineup too as the winds continue to swirl here on Oahu. We start off with some nice east-northeast trade winds this morning, but a little bit of a northerly aspect starting to kick in, Flick.
Yeah, you definitely see that little bit of texture on the water, a little bit more than yesterday, I think. I'm pretty surprised that Moana's actually still trying to find a couple of pipeline waves. That's the second time she's tried. I mean, to be honest, there really hasn't been that much opportunity come through in this heat, but interesting for Caroline to take off on that wave. I thought if she would held priority for that long, she might have converted something a bit better or gone to turns, knowing that the other two girls have only got, less than ones on the board.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Priority, India, Robinson. Robinson in the blue jersey. It's going to be Caroline. She's going to find the left here. Marks off the bottom. Nice carve off the top. Coming through this section here, patient with the wave. Fits in a nice cutty there, and Caroline Marks will take the lead with that wave ridden. Caroline a goofy foot. Moana Jones-Wong also a goofy foot. The lone regular foot now holding priority. India, Robinson, and Moore on kind of the stance difference in this heat. I'm going to go to the VIP headset with Jesse Mendez. Jesse.
Yeah, what's up, guys? I guess we've been talking about backdoor all day, and we have two goofy footers, and you guys as goofies know how much of a barrier it is for us to go right out here. And today on a small day, we got quite some strong winds, just starting to actually push a little stronger. And with the smaller waves, the backdoor wave would just run down the reef pretty fast, and it gets kind of tight, so it's very hard for you to actually maneuver through the barrel. You need more room on your backhand. So it's definitely an advantage for India to actually be on her front side, and hopefully she can capitalize that and find those runners down the reef. And yeah, because it's tough for backhand right now. It's not easy. It's very tight and fast barrels down the line.
Jesse, Caroline just got a 3.17 on just doing turns on the left. I mean, do you think with the wind and everything considered, it's time for the surfers to look to just do turns to get scores?
I don't think it's time to just look for turns, but I don't think it's time for you to have the tube helmet on. You got to kind of, I like the approach that Briza had. She got that barrel in the beginning of the heat, and then she went for turns and got a great backup scores, and that she ended up winning the heat. So I don't think you should sit down so much and just cruise and wait for that perfect backdoor wave to come, because there's not many out there. So it's a good mix right now. Like, it's not all turns and it's not all barrels. I think you just got to be able to adapt throughout the heat.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse. I think Caroline Marks heard you. She just took a backup wave there, got a couple of turns on the backhand, and she's just kind of just manufacturing numbers, knowing what it takes to, to get through inconsistent heat that we've had on hand.
For sure, and look, a win's a win, and I mean, we saw it happen yesterday. Connor O'Leary got through 2 heats, you know, with really low scores. As we have a look at Caroline here on this pipeline wave, beautiful first snap in the lip, and comes around this section and gets one more carve. So that was that 3.17 that we saw, and this is a smaller right-hander taking a little bit of time to set up that first turn, and she gets a finish here. So it gets it's smart, and just got to echo what Jesse said. You just got to be adaptable today. It's all about being adaptable and a bit flexible, because I still think, even though, turns are scoring, I think if that big backdoor wave still does come through and sucks out on the reef, right, they're going to really reward that.
Backdoor here with India Robinson. Banks off the top there for the surfer from Janjuk, Australia. And India will no doubt go into second and advancing position with that effort.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. You've got to be thinking Moana right now. She's got priority. She's got to be thinking, I'm going to turns, right?
Yeah.
2 minutes 30 on the clock. She would have heard what these other two, what India and Caroline have got. She's going to know that. So you've got to be thinking she's looking for turns now.
Here we go. Moana Jones-Wong with priority, looking left. It's going to stall, gets under a little chandelier there, pocket ride. It's really important for what she's going to add to the plate after that pocket ride. Couple of turns here. She's going to stick with this one, milking it all the way in. And you can see her just muscling. It's a little bit longer chilly surfboard that she's on, muscling that. Tehutu, her husband there, and the rest of the support squad from Volcom applauding and thinking that Moana should retake second and advancing position with that effort. She needs a 1.84 on that wave.
Yeah, you got to be thinking, I mean, still looking for the barrel here. I liked what you said. I mean, Moana traditionally does ride bigger boards out here, even, you know, when she's surfed in this contest before in the past, her boards have always been longer, and you can actually tell that this board is quite a bit longer. So for her to go to turns right now, that could be a bit harder on this longer board. I mean, she's getting the work done, and of course it's going to be more. That score's come through. It's a 2.2, so it was enough for her. This is such small, like, scores right now that there's only a minute left. Got to be thinking that India's probably going to be wanting to get another wave as well. So
yeah, I think we just saw Moana paddle past India. So
wonder who's got priority.
Caroline Marks with first priority right now. She's
going to
clear,
establish second.
Yeah, and India Robinson does have second priority. Needs a 1.08 to advance. There she is, paddling up against a little bit of a rip at the moment. Down to 35 seconds for India. 30 seconds. She's in a ripped out zone right here. Not a lot of opportunity. Going to have to reposition as we fly above, giving us an understanding of this lineup, Flick.
Oh, this is just crazy. I mean, she literally needs to stand up, do a bottom turn, and maybe even a top turn. One turn. One turn, and she's in that advancing position.
She's going to get it right here. And Caroline uses priority. Caroline Marks, smooth surfing on the backhand right now. Caroline closes out this heat in first place. Moana Jones-Wong also advancing into the round of 16, and India Robinson, we're going to see her in the elimination round.
Wow, that was
a tough heat.
That was a tough heat. It was a slow heat. You could see India there sort of shaking her head. I mean, this is not obviously the way you want to advance through heats out here today, but that one was just very, very slow.
We'll be back when we return. Katie Simmers, Gabriella Bryant, and Isabella Nichols will be out in the lineup.
I've always lived in Oceanside. Like, kind of, I guess, the things that would make me from Oceanside have just happened naturally because I've grown up here and I don't really notice it. I think it's just a little more of like a working class, blue collar town. I'm really happy with where I grew up. But yeah, definitely been a big change to like go on the tour. But you definitely get experiences where you're like, I wish everyone could experience this. I just have a lot of respect for everyone who does it. It takes a lot to just never be home and be away from your family and be away from your friends. And it's not easy, but it's rewarding when it happens.
Oside represent. In plain sight, little dive deep into the hometown of Oceanside along with Katie Simmers. You can catch that on Stab and Red Bull TV. Katie Simmers out in the red jersey, top seed in this heat, up against Gabriella Bryant and Isabella Nichols. Kuiper Girl, along with Felicity Palmentier on the call. I like this young heat right here. 18-year-old Katie Simmers, 21-year-old Gabriella Bryant, 26-year-old Isabella Nichols. Katie Simmers right here finished her rookie year, number 4 in the world, and Rookie of the Year. Won 2 events on the way over there. The reluctant pro, Katie Simmers, she has an endearing personality, but also an explosive ability on her surfboard. I feel like there's new surfing for women surfing coming from Katie Simmers right now.
For sure, and I mean, she's definitely pushing the progression side of women's surfing, and I love that while still pushing that progression, she's got this beautiful style, right? And everything looks really silky, smooth, and I think the future's bright for her. I think last year was definitely a year where she did a lot of growing, and I'm loving throughout the year, and even now we're starting to hear a little bit more from her as she gets more confident in herself. And I think sometimes it's really easy to be like, oh wow, like you just forget how young she is, right? Yeah. And she's still growing up on tour, and to be in that finals day conversation on her rookie year is incredible.
Yeah, take a look at the rookie season for Caitlin Simmers and how she got that Rookie of the Year title. She had an outstanding year. Here's the numbers and here's the placings, Flick. Look at those.
Yeah, she had an absolute banger of a year. I mean, started at Pipeline with a 9th, went to Sunset, got a 5th, but then won her first ever event in Portugal, and then a few more pretty good results, a 3rd there at Surf Ranch, and then another win at Rio. So 2 event wins in both countries that speak Portuguese, so she's got something going on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then obviously 2nd in Tahiti. She had a beautiful 9-point ride there. I remember calling it and just really showing us, like, you know, she's got skills in the barrel as well.
Yeah.
And then ends up 4th in the world.
Yeah, and the last rookie to win 2 events in their season, we have to look all the way back to 2010 to Carissa Moore to put that into perspective. So 13 years, no one had not accomplished that, and Caitlin Simmers coming in hot. Katie on the paddle here. Simmers looks down the line, needs to gain some speed through that one, and that one just sped off for Katie Simmers.
Wow, I almost thought that she was going to come out of that one. That one really just like stretched out down the line, sort of into off the wall. Thought she might be finding an exit there.
Yeah, so Simmers is going to get just a fractional score, maybe a 1-point ride for that on the paddle back out. That leaves Gabriella Bryant and Isabella Nichols out at the peak. Gabriella Bryant, I want to talk a little bit about her. She's a 21-year-old from Kilauea on the island of Kauai. Gabriella Bryant, I got to see her surf we used to have a pro junior contest, believe it or not, here at Pipeline. And it was both men and women. Gabriella Bryant won that event. And on the way to winning that event, she scored a 10-point ride at backdoor, a proper double-up 6-footer, maybe bigger. It was a big, scary wave. And that young lady right there went for perfect execution on that wave. For more on Gabriella Bryant, I'm going to throw it to the water to Strider Wazalewski.
Thank you, Kaipo. How you guys doing in there? Staying dry?
Well, we know you're wet, Striders.
We got a little rain squall coming through out here. Yeah, you know what, Gabby, I caught up with her, kind of picked her brain about her off season, what her favorite moment of the whole thing was. Going to Salina Cruz, going to get perfect waves with her family, just right-hand points. And, you know, it's pretty cool. Your job is surfing, and then your free time fun is surfing. So I think surfing is probably the best thing in the world to have a job at and just go and enjoy that time with your family. So, you know, Gabby taking that time, getting away, getting a little traveling in, and enjoying her time with her family was her favorite time of the summer.
Hey, what's going on out there, Strider? Just changing the subject. I want you to be Strider the weatherman right now.
Oh, yeah, we got a little bit of rain coming in. It's coming out of the northeast right now, but you can look over the corner. It's still black out there. It's really dark, and it's going to be coming down to us in about like 20, 30 minutes. It's just not in the brochure, but it's down in the red writing at the bottom, as Pomai would say, and you've got to look really deep to adjust. So these guys in the water right now, they're going to have to figure out how to adjust to these conditions, because it's been, you know, there's been rights, there's been lefts, there's these big west sets coming in. It's like really strange. You don't see these kind of conditions all the time. So having to adapt, I think Felicity said it the best. You're just going to have to go to turns out here today.
Thank you so much for the report. Strider Wazalewski was on the water. 22 minutes remaining, a 1-point ride for Caitlin Semmers. Open priority right now, Flick, between Gabriella Bryant and Isabella Nichols.
Yeah, you can see out the back there that there's a bit of a rain line coming in. I mean, obviously, Strider gave us the weather report, and yep, it's starting to sprinkle. However, I think as I look behind my shoulder, it looks like there might be a little bit of a squall out there as well. So these girls also would have watched that last heat and seen that, you know, Caroline getting a total of 5.8 and Moana a total of 2.9, basically. They're not silly, right? You've got to be thinking if the wave comes through and it's going to give it the opportunity for 2 turns, they're going to be taking it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. We have the coconut weather report here in Hawaii. If the coconut is moving on the tree, that means it's windy. If the coconut is wet, that means it's raining. Coconut's nice and sunny and dry. That means it's sunny weather. This is just a squall coming through that we were talking about, shot from Ehukai Beach Park, looking into the lineup.
Getting an education today on weather.
Well, we're going to see how long this squall. I mean, another thing, you know, with the Hawaiian Islands is typically rain squalls like this are fast moving through. You know, it takes a special type of storm actually to sit upon us. I have a feeling this is kind of like regional weather right now, so you just have little bands actually of precipitation or these squalls that move through, and then probably in another half hour should be clear.
Well, it's sort of one thing you've got to take into consideration in your heat. You know, sometimes when those squalls come through too, it totally changes the conditions for about 15 minutes, right? And if that happens in your heat and you can see that coming and a wave's coming towards you before that squall, I mean, you want to be taking off on that, because the last 15 minutes of your 20 minutes of heat could be blown with this sort of squall coming through.
Yeah, you can see in the distance the ehukai, or the spray coming off of the waves. And with this squall coming through, it's really swirling. So it's gone offshore just for a second, and now it's swirling back around. So to your point, ever-changing weather conditions, ever-changing surface conditions are going to have to make the surfers pretty adaptive out there. We see Isabella Nichols out there. She's got a helmet on for safety. She's still with open priority with Gabriella Bryant. We haven't talked about Isabella, 26-year-old, fourth season on the championship tour. Had a heartbreak last year at Margaret River, and after winning it in 2022, had to go back to the Challenger Series and re-qualified for this tour on the hard road on the Challenger Series, and she was the last person to make the cut, finishing 5th, because of course we take 5 women from that Challenger Series onto the championship tour. So she's already overcome a lot of adversity, Isabella Nichols.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I remember speaking to Bella, I think it was just after Margaret River, and it was actually straight after that at the Challenger Series, the first Challenger Series stop at Snapper on the Gold Coast there. And she said to me, you know, it's just amazing how that same place, Margaret River, where I can have experienced so much joy, you know, it's such a contrast a year makes. You know, I was absolute despair, like one of the lowest moments, you know, in my life. And It's just, and that's professional surfing, especially with this cut. I mean, it makes it just so cutthroat. You really can't sleep on this first part of the year. You've got to come out absolutely firing. And yeah, Bella just absolutely working through that Challenger Series and really getting it done at that last event in Saquarema. I mean, finishing in that 5th spot. I mean, not knowing the whole year, that's stressful too.
Yeah.
Am I going to be on tour? Am I not going to be on tour? What's my next year going to look like? And, that not just for surfing, but, everything in terms of endorsements and sponsorships. And there's a lot riding on all of this. So it's an extreme amount of pressure.
Yeah, and having to perform underneath that pressure. Well, right now, this month, Mahina Olelo Hawaii, it's a month that we're celebrating Hawaiian language. I got another Hawaiian word for you, Flick. This one is ua.
Ua?
Ua. Ua means rain. As you can see silhouetted in the rain, we have Lakey Peterson preparing for her upcoming heat. But that is ua. Sometimes you have ua li'i, which is the light rain, which is a misting rain. But right now we got straight ua coming down because the downpour is upon us.
Word for rainbow? Is there one?
Anui nui.
Anui nui. Maybe we'll see a rainbow because, you know what?
Sunshine and rain makes rainbows.
No rain?
No rainbows.
Correct.
we got a faint one right there on the horizon. Hawaii, of course, sometimes we get double rainbows. Maybe even triple rainbows sometimes.
Here we go.
Here we go. Katie Simmers on the backhand. That's what we were waiting for. This is going to be a breakaway score. Chucks the fins there. Second turn. Little lip slide. Katie also, a pretty avid skateboarder. So backside lip slide there for Katie Simmers on that second turn. I like that.
Oh, I loved it. It was super explosive. I thought it was all over for her on that second turn, but she really stuck it. And I guess testament to just all that time on the skateboard and just having that loose sort of feeling on lock. But yeah, just identifying, just going for these turns right now. First crack into the lip. And this is that turn we were talking about, really skate-like. Absolutely blows the fins out the back there. And beautiful technique there. This second turn as she comes around, this is the moment where she really releases those fins. You can see it drifts across the top of the lip there. Sort of almost lost it, but regains control. And I think, that'll be a good little number for these conditions right now.
Here's the scores coming through. 4.17 checks in for Katie Simmers. And in the context of what we've seen today, Caroline Marks won her last heat with a 5.84 two-wave total. Katie Simmers has a 5.17 two-wave total. So you almost feel like that 4 is a keeper.
Right now, I'd say yes. I mean, unless we see this squall move through and things start to change. Sometimes after squalls, though, you can get that moment of peace, the calm after the storm, so to say. Katie sort of having a little bit of a look there. And sometimes, that rain comes through and actually makes the ocean quite clean.
Yeah.
So we look out the back.
Wedge coming through here. Isabella Nichols identifies that. Isabella stalls off the bottom, pulls into the barrel, travels through there, and unfortunately just gets caught up before the exit. You can see the slap of the water. She's a little frustrated.
Yeah, you got to think maybe it's so easy for me to sit here and say this, but maybe knifing it a little bit more would have worked in her favor instead of taking the drop and then bottom turning up underneath. I think maybe she thought it was, so we have a look here. Well, I guess she did that. She definitely, actually, you know what? She did pretty well to get up underneath that lip. She read that really nicely. But I'm just wondering if she kind of locked the board on rail a bit more.
She would have
already been in there now, and she would have had the speed to come out. So, I mean, you could tell. I mean, she was a little bit frustrated after that too. I mean, she probably knew that herself.
Yeah, so she got a 1.13. But remember, this is like almost a game of musical chairs where you have 2 chairs and 3 people dancing around those chairs. First and second move on to the round of 16. Third is the one that's going to go into the elimination round. Who's going to go into that elimination round? We're going to find out after this break when we come back with the conclusion. Opening round for the women's heat number 4 here at the Lexus Pipe Pro.
The Lexus Pipe Pro presented by YETI is brought to you by Lexus, experience amazing. By Bonsoy, official milk of the WSL. And by Pacifico, live life anchors up.
'24 Lexus GS. It's a new body style, 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6 engine, standard full-time four-wheel drive, limited center locking differential on the back there. Take it off-road, take it on-road. It goes anywhere. The new Lexus GX. What a beautiful, beautiful automobile. Hawaiian, we say kawila, car. Gabby Bryant up
my.
And down. Well, that was going for it.
Wow. Well, I think that's testament to that 10 that she got in a Pro Junior. I mean, she's going to go. She gets that opportunity, she's going. Just unfortunately, she probably would have loved to have been into that a bit earlier. A few more strokes, but she has 10 points for effort. Like, wow. It's really promising to see waves like that still now, because for a while there I was like, wow, okay, it's getting a little bit grim and a bit difficult, but yeah, she just, oh my goodness, that was just so heavy. That wave was just, I mean, it's great to see that wave of size coming through. He really like ran off down the line too. So stoked to see it, super promising. And although she didn't make it, 10 points for effort in my books.
Yeah, and she was pretty sure-footed. I mean, she airdropped and still board attached to her feet, you know?
It was pretty impressive.
So to your point, Flick, there was zero hesitation from Gabby Bryant there.
Yeah, it's good to know too. I mean, if a set comes through, another one like that, and she's in a little bit of a better position, you know she's going to go. And I guess, you know, growing up on Kauai and in Hawaii and with waves of power on tap, you know, it's sort of just in her nature to do so, you know, part of her DNA, and brought up in an environment like this, she's going to have a crack.
Let's go out into the water. Strider Wazalewski, what do you think about the position of our surfers?
Well, after waiting around for that long, you know, you're just kind of moving around in the water. You don't really realize how much you've moved in over the reef or outside with the rips and the current and the wind and the rain. And then when the sets arrived, you're like, whoa, you're so surprised. And I feel like, you know, Gabby just had to send it, and she did. And, you know, hats off to her for going for it. But there was a few really nice waves that rolled through and spit through this inside section. So I think they're going to try and get back in the driver's seat. We see Caitlin right now looking like she's going to get barreled.
Simmers in the barrel traveling through there. The clamp on the end is going to deny her an exit. But talk about knifing into the wave. That's exactly what Katie Simmers did on that one. It's just popped up out of the water, too. Little hold down.
Yes, sometimes it's those waves that, you know, you wouldn't assume you'd have a bad wipeout on, but they're the ones that get you the worst. I mean, some of my worst hold downs have been on, like, the smaller-ish side of waves. Here we go. Gabby's having a look.
Gabby Bryant. Couple of pumps off the bottom, goes to turns here, snapping off the top. Lip glide there for Bryant. Nice execution, gets out of the way as soon as that wave closes out into very shallow reef.
I like that. I was just checking the fins there, making sure they're all in. But yeah, I like that. I like that strategy. She's obviously identified that. She's being adaptable. today, you know, there is those moments, but you can't just get too obsessed with that. She checks out those fins just one more time.
I mean, it's so shallow. You know that as well, Flick. Your fins are scraping reef all the time.
Oh, yeah, it is super shallow out there.
Hit little holes on the bottom of your board, duck dives, sometimes scrape your knuckles because it's so shallow. Yeah, not a lot of water. Caroline Marks, yellow jersey, wins her first heat of 2024, AJ.
That's right, Kaipo. Caroline's jersey reflecting off my face here. The yellow jersey, a different color for you this year. Caroline, how does it feel coming into the first event with it on?
Yeah, it feels really good. It looks cool. So one of my favorite colors, yellow and blue. So yeah, obviously brings a lot of confidence, and it's the color everyone wants to be wearing. So just really happy to be in it, and yeah, it feels good.
And to start out the year here at Pipeline, you had to make some adjustments in that first heat. What did you change about the way you approached that heat as it went on?
Yeah, I think Pipeline has so many different faces, and I think the wind plays a really big factor. And there's a bit of a rip going through the lineup, and depending on where it wants to be during your heat kind of changes things. And then we did have a very slow heat. The heat before ours, too, was really slow. I noticed Carissa had like a 10-minute heat, so I was definitely watching that one closely and kind of adapting, and I was like, okay, when do I pull the trigger, you know, because there can be a really good wave at any moment. But yeah, I had to go to some turns, but a win's a win. I'm really stoked, and you know, you never know, the next heat can be really fun. So yeah, feeling really good overall, and feeling really confident. So yeah.
How did the world champ spend her off season getting ready for this one?
Honestly, it was really busy off season in the best way possible. I took some trips and did some media stuff and hung out with family and friends. So yeah, really busy, but really good. So I'm just really happy to be back in Hawaii. It's just nice to be in warm weather, and I got my brothers here, and so it's just overall good vibes.
Happy to have you back, Caroline. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I like that. A happy Caroline Marks. Bottom third here, you can see some of the upcoming heats that we have. Heat number 5 is going to feature Molly Picklum, Tatiana Weston Webb, and the rookie Alyssa Spencer. 6 minutes 35 in this heat in the water, and we just had the number check in for Gabby Bryant of 4.53, so highest single wave score for Bryant for a couple of turns at backdoor. And holding on to a strong second place right now, Isabella Nichols is in the unenvious position of being in third. Holding priority needs a 3.68, Flick.
Yeah, 3.68's that's a really low score. She's got priority, so it's got to, I think she's got to be thinking right now, okay, like those girls are getting, you know, 4s, 4.5s for 2 turns. So, I mean, it's just so achievable right now. There's 6 minutes on the clock, and I'm just really hoping for these girls that there's a few more opportunities that come through.
Well, you know, Eventbrite's a new global partner in women's surfing. Eventbrite has curated a collection of WSL-inspired surf and ocean-centric experiences happening in and around cities all across the USA. Enjoy surf lessons, beach yoga, and more amongst this epic list of activities. Find out more on events happening in and around your area. Go to eventbrite.com. Lots of activities. I'm ready for some.
You know what? I actually think after this rain squall, it's looking quite groomed out there. So maybe just ironing out a few of those creases that we saw before, you know, what tends to happen before those squalls is it brings a little bit of wind with it too, right? So we saw a lot of texture on the face of the waves, whereas now it's looking quite smooth. So I'm hoping that if a set comes through now,
ooh, maybe some barrels.
Maybe some barrels.
That's what that's what we would love to have on the breakfast menu here. 10:30 a.m. local Hawaiian time, and we're over halfway through this opening round for the women's. We'll have 6 heats in this opening round. Still not determined whether we're going to go into the elimination round. Gabby Bryant looking for a backup, just needs a fractional score, and she's got it. She's going to take the lead with that one carve. That's going to help her too, finishing off that wave. So Gabrielle Bryant will go to the lead with that last effort.
It's smart surfing, you know. It was a smaller wave. We shouldn't have first priority. So thinking, you know what, I'm just going to roll the dice, get a better backup here. Just going to go into the lead, and takes a little bit of the less pressure off herself. So it's really smart surfing. 4 minutes on the clock. You've got to be thinking that there's going to be a nice set come through. You have a look here. So you can see she was almost looking for the barrel there. Chooses not to go for that option. that wave just having a little bit of froth on the face, but she deals with it really well there. So yeah, smart decision by Gabby. And as we have a look at the back.
Katie, nice little barrel ride there for Katie Simmers. So stylish and so comfortable for an 18-year-old. Just rolled into that drop, stood high and tall.
Yeah, she positioned herself really well before she even stood up on that wave. She probably identified this as a real wedge, and if I want to get any sort of tube time, I've got to be as deep as possible. So yeah, just surfing beyond her years, just so much experience and just looking so cruisy and casual, you know, like in these sort of consequential waves that break on shallow reef, sometimes it can be easy to go to that sort of survival stance just to really hang on, but she just looks so cruisy. As we have a look here, that delayed sort of takeoff, double arm stall, stands up a bit straighter, and yeah, just looking really silky smooth. This is that sort of delayed takeoff. You could see here it was just like a little bit of a wedge, really trying to delay that maximum barrel time there, as she looks cool as a cucumber flying out of that one.
Steezy. Katie Simmers with that barrel stance right there. So we'll be waiting for a number for Katie. We'll be waiting for a number for Gabriella and see how that plays off. Both of those numbers are going to increase their score line, and both of those numbers are going to increase the pressure on Isabella Nichols when they check in. Gabriella Bryant, a 3.6 for the 2 turns at back, or Gabriella goes to the lead, waiting for the score, Katie Simmers. Simmers needs a 4-point ride. 4-point ride will take Katie Simmers into the lead. Still waiting on that score.
It's going to be interesting. I wonder where they're going to go with this barrel. I mean, beautiful, super stylish, however, not that much time in the tube. I'm wondering, is it going to be the score or not? It's hard to say.
Yeah, it is really hard to say. But, you know, barrel riding should be the top of the criteria. There we go, 5.5 comes in for Simmers. Simmers retakes the lead, and now the story is Isabella Nichols. There's all the numbers for Katie. Isabella Nichols needs a 7-point ride. She's got a minute and a half and priority.
Yeah, that's a tough ask for now. It's a really tough ask. I mean, Katie that was beautiful surfing on that really wedgy TP one from backdoor. Super stylish, 5.5. It's put a lot of pressure now on Bella. I mean, a 7 in today's conditions is pretty challenging. So
she's going to need a barrel.
She's going to need a barrel 100%.
Yeah, because I don't think the judges are going to give you a 7 on turns today.
No, definitely not. I think, you know, it's so easy to sit here and say, but, you know, hindsight, perfect science. However, I mean, maybe a little bit more flexibility in the mind of, okay, identifying turns, let's just get at least a backup earlier on in the heat. So then it wasn't so much pressure now. But in saying that, it's definitely not over for Bella. And I mean, she's had moments where she pulled into a couple of barrels earlier on in this heat and she was looking really good. So if a set comes, and she's got priority, which is exactly what you want.
30 seconds. Just time enough for 2 more waves to hit the reef here. Not a lot of swell activity in this final 20 seconds. And it looks like Isabella Nichols will be heading to the elimination round. We'll be making it official in 5 seconds here. And Katie Simmers, brilliant effort out there. Got a barrel, got some turns. She's on to the round of 16. Gabriella Bryant, she's on to the round of 16. Isabella Nichols, we'll see her in the elimination round. More action coming your way from Pipeline after this.
work. My earliest memories of surfing are down at Carter Free. My dad would push me into these perfect little peeling lefts. My brother's name is Ty. We've definitely both got the competitive spark in us, so I feel like from a young age, whatever we were doing, I never wanted my little brother to beat me. He definitely pushed me to be a better person and also kind of shaped me into the surfer that I am today. If there's a barrel that I get, he always tells me I could have been deeper. See you. My dad is a fire captain at Encinitas Fire Department. I just see how much hard work he's put in to be where he is, and I feel like that definitely really inspired me from a young age to find my passion in whatever it is and work hard to fulfill your dreams in that role. I'm Alyssa Spencer, and I'm a rookie on the championship tour.
So great to get to know Alyssa Spencer over the last few years. Always a threat on the Challenger Series, and now officially making her rookie debut representing Southern California, North County, San Diego, Encinitas. What a beautiful place to come from. A lot of great waves around there, a lot of great surfers. You always think of, obviously, Jake Marshall, but Rob Machado. We could go on for a long time with the talent that comes out of that region. As we see Caitlin Simmers, who's from about 15 minutes north from Alyssa Spencer at Oceanside.
So scrappy out there. I filmed it on the handicap. We missed you last time. Oh my God.
Smiles her way through barrels, enjoys her job as being one of the best surfers in the world. Caitlin Simmers just in her second start on the championship tour, already with big expectations on her shoulders, but she carries it well. Doesn't feel like she's having any pressure upon her, and she gets to do her brand of surfing. Joe Turpel, Laura Ediver, longtime CT standout, big wave charger, Guinness record holder. We could go on and on, Laura, but first with Katie Simmers. You know, we don't see this kind of talent come up every day. What are you expecting her to accomplish this season?
Oh, I feel, her breakout season last year was just phenomenal, really. And she, I also live for her interviews. Her speech at the WSL Awards, yeah, there was a lot of good speeches, but hers was just absolutely classic. And at the end, she was so humble in saying, I was the only rookie, so, I was always going to get it. But, to come out and have those breakthrough wins like she did. And she's so petite. She's so short. I think you think and watch Katie surf, and then you see her in real life, and she is just a little micro shredder and just surfs out of her skin, and the style, the power, we've seen her come through for so many years now, and she's arrived.
Brand new heat just getting started. Molly Picklum out there wearing the red jersey. Had an insane season last year. Actually met up with Katie Simmers at the WSL Finals at Lower Trestles. So accomplished a lot. Even got to wear the yellow jersey last year as well.
Yeah, she did. I mean, Molly, her evolution over the last few years, it feels like she's been on tour for 5 years plus, but she hasn't. She's number 5 in the world. Her first year on tour, she didn't make the cut. She went back on the Challenger Series, came back on, and last year just blitzed through and was a whole new Molly. And she's come leaps and bounds, and her barrel riding in Waves of Consequence is something just absolutely incredible to watch. She was surfing out here at Pipe at the end of last year, and just her technique, backside barrel riding and forehand barrel riding is, it's one to watch for sure, one of the best in the world.
She is really excited for a brand new season on tour, finally getting started in her first heat of the season. Molly Picklum searching at the moment. She'll hold back, and we will see the start from Alyssa Spencer, drawing a big backside snap right on the money. Good connection off the top. The judges want to see those critical sections being utilized, and she hit it right in the right place. Molly was tube hunting to start. Now bottom turning into the hollow part of the wave. Well done for Picklum. And that beautiful frontside wrap to follow. Must have felt amazing. There was that turn we kept referencing on her rookie debut that she laid down at Margaret River main break. Got a 9.17 for that effort. We were comparing it to a John type turn, one of those finesse yet powerful maneuvers, and I know she's going to feature that quite a bit this year.
Absolutely, and what a start for this heat. Last few heats have been pretty sleepy, hard for the women to find some scores out there, but that was some positive signs of the swell coming in and some backdoor drainers there. Smart for Alyssa Spencer to go to turns. I know that Tatiana, she has taken out a 5.10 just because she wants to have that freedom to go to turns and then also have that little bit of holding. I think Ross, she was thinking of going 5.9, but Ross was like, no, 5.10. Didn't want to let her ride the 5.9. So, that wave of Molly's, though, that was an absolute bomb to start. So, look, proper backdoor drainer. She almost looked like she was going to go to turns, but then just saw that this was going to just give her that beautiful section to fly through, and those calves just getting so low and compressed, so on rail. Just beautiful technique. That'll feel amazing to kick off her heat and campaign like this. Love the way she just drifted down the bottom there, pulled up into it, and just had to ride it. Had such a nice line on it that wave, and she just knew she had to make it count. Pulled up into it. It was nice and open. She definitely knew she was coming out of it, and I think that's going to be one of the waves of the day.
Really enjoyed that. Even that read in the beginning, she wanted to pull straight in with even just a slight delay. She still maximized the scoring potential with the combination of throwing down that big carve with the barrel. Molly's feeling great, and also watching Alyssa Spencer on her opener.
Yeah, one big crack, Alyssa Spencer, hair dropping down there. So 4-point ride for that one turn for Alyssa. So that's a pretty amazing backup score, and that we know that, when you think of Alyssa and Tati, as we see, Molly's scores come up 7, 7.5. So all the judges putting that up near the excellent range, but that might be the highest score of the day so far.
She's done well. 7.33 was just such a great read in the barrel and maximizing the scoring potential by not just kicking out, but laying the rail down as well. Big start for Molly, and she's already got a pretty solid reputation out here. Always talking about this wave with humility and respect and saying how dangerous it is, but she has really put in some time. She comes in she shows up at the North Shore of Oahu, towards the December, even November, puts in a lot of time at backdoor and pipeline. She's able to sneak home for Christmas to Australia and then right back here to backdoor and pipe, and she puts it as one of her favorite events on tour for the challenge to see what she could accomplish in conditions like this. Setting up a similar looking wave. Didn't quite get as barreled as her first. And she'll throw down a wrap, so not going to come close to the 7.33, but you can tell she's picking the good looking waves at the moment. And coming through a wide open pit on the backdoor section, Tatiana Weston Webb just popping up there. And a good opportunity to talk about this hard-charging athlete.
Yep.
Born in Brazil, but moved very quickly to the island of Kauai and got to be around a lot of the best talented women chargers in the world and became known for her fearless act. Getting 10s in big condition at Hostiger, really pushing the tour to get some challenging conditions. Back to Molly's last wave.
Yeah, Molly pretty much got this on the paddle back out, kick stall into that tube. What an incredible read, and these are the maneuvers that she has in her repertoire. She is so good at reading these tubes, and Tati on the backside, we don't see her backside tubing much, but that was an absolute incredible line. Unfortunately, the wave shutting down on her, but look at that perfect technique. Tati grabbing the rail, pulling up into it. She had an incredible line there. She got some epic travel time, and that wave, unfortunately, just chandeliered at the end, but look how deep she is. She just was enjoying that view. Unfortunately, the wave just went a bit too tight there and shutting down, so not letting her out, but what a vision.
And that was on the split, just straight down for Alyssa Spencer. Was looking at a rare left-hand opportunity. It's really been heavily favored towards backdoor the entire morning. And Alyssa with her 4 and a backup score will be positioned in second. Molly out in front. But now let's chat with Katie Simmers with AJ.
Katie, all smiles coming out of the water. Your first heat, getting your first heat win of 2024. How did you adjust, especially with that rain that came through in the middle of your heat, to find the scores?
I don't know. I feel like half the heats that I have out here are like all 4 seasons in one heat. So I feel like it's pretty normal for here. I kind of expected it this year, a little more prepared.
Well, you certainly showed that preparation. What did you see on the waves that you wanted to take advantage of, whether it was searching for the barrels or the turns? What did you want to do?
I mean, yeah, obviously we're at
pipeline. You're trying to get barreled, but yeah, I don't know. I was looking, backdoor looked pretty fun this morning. I saw like 10 really good waves, and then kind of I went out there and there wasn't really barrels, and I was like kind of going out there to just try to get a backup scores in my free surf, because I was watching it yesterday and there was a lot of people getting one good wave and no backup scores, so I was like, I'm just gonna go out there and try some backside snaps, and then it kind of like worked out in my heat. I was like, fell on a couple barrels. I was like, oh no, I'm like doing it again, like just trying to get barreled. Then I don't know, kind of just, there's a lot of scrappy heats out here that you have to be pretty compy, so just trying to get compy, do 2 backside turns, and then I guess it played out at the end. I got a little barrel. Wish it was better, but I don't know. I'm glad I got through, because a lot of my heats last year I lost first round. So.
Not this year, though. 2024 coming in as the world number 4. What did you do in the off season? What did you focus on?
Shoot, after that comp, the final 5, it was like, I was like, so just mentally just dead, and like I don't know, I kind of just had to just sit in my room for a couple weeks and kind of just do nothing, and I like thought, I was like, oh, like this is pretty like hard, or I mean it's not hard, I freaking get to surf for a living, but kind of just like I didn't think I would be ready again, I guess is the best way to put it. And then like kind of a couple weeks before I left for Hawaii, I was like, okay, I like want to go somewhere and want to move and do things. So yeah, I ended up like, yeah, doing a couple surf trips that were really fun, getting barreled, and yeah, just remember why you do it, and then come back here and try to friggin' get serious.
Speaking of milestones in the last few weeks, what else did you do?
Oh yeah, we were talking about math, and I remembered that I graduated high school like a couple weeks ago, so.
Congratulations, Katie. High school graduate and on to the next round here at Pipeline.
Yep, glad I got that over with.
Back to you.
Congratulations.
Yes, Katie.
That was great. It just reminds you how much she's doing at her age, you know, still finishing high school. She just got that done. By the way, she finished world number 4. And she's still such a grommet. As we were catching up with Katie, we saw a wipeout from Molly Picklum.
Yeah, Molly just paddling back out again. This was on the wider 8th section of the reef, and look, it was drawing out, and she had the right idea, just got into it a bit late. But I love Molly. The way that she just charges so hard, and as we see Tati on the drainer again here, and fortunately that wave just going a bit lumpy. Bit hard to read, so ejects, but yeah, Molly, she's just not afraid to send it over the falls. We were surfing a wave, Lani's, the other day, and she just swung on this wave that she was way too late for and just sent herself over the falls just for fun and came up laughing. I was like, yep, maybe a little screw loose, but she's found his comfort in wiping out, really.
Yeah, she even reflects on a few wipeouts out here at Pipeline where she's actually been put into one of those caves in the reef. It's pretty radical on a flat day if you grab a snorkel mask and actually check out the reef at Pipeline.
It's terrifying.
Really, really intimidating. You can see it from the sky there, but there's a lot of deep caves, so you can actually stand straight up in them.
Yeah, and a lot of sea urchins as well.
And that's the scary part. You don't want to get those in your feet, but also you don't want to get stuck into a cave. But Molly was just so zen in that moment. You know, her coach, Glenn Microhall, had really prepared her well for the situations like that, and I think she just relied on her knowledge that she's absorbing from her coach and was able to stay calm in a pretty scary situation. So she's done a lot in a short period of time at Pipe and Backdoor.
I feel like she's constantly breaking boards. Like every second day she's been posting a story and she's like, another one bites the dust. Like, it just goes to show that she's always committed. I know she was down surfing off the wall yesterday while the event was on, getting tubed down there, and she just loves to chase it.
Definitely would need a lot of surfboards as we see a right-hander just go through unridden. Priority with Alyssa Spencer. No takers on that one. Is that a mistake for the competitors, letting one go like that?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure why it's got priority. Alyssa's in priority, and I mean, I feel like for Tati, she's probably, I know her plan was to go out there and just try to get a couple waves to do turns on, and obviously that hasn't happened yet. Alyssa maybe just waiting for a certain type of wave that she wants. Haven't seen much of her backside barrel riding, but I know she's been here on the North Shore for quite some time now, and she's been surfing pipe a lot, just trying to get that comfort. She's working with Shane Dorian, who is just constantly telling her, just get out there. Even if you're not catching waves, just go out there, get your lineups, watch the best in the world do it, and draw inspiration from that.
And Dorian's made a living off making heats right where they're sitting now on this part of the reef for decades. So great to have Dorian in a lot of the surfers' corner in this event. He's multitasking with a lot of different athletes on the women's and men's side of the draw. 12:50 to go, and we'll have a look from Alyssa Spencer, and she'll try to hang on to priority. We'll see if she does. Nope, she'll lose it. Molly takes first priority. 12:40 on the clock. Bonsoy brew break time. Back for heat 5 of the opening round right after this. Time for the Pulse, where we show you the best highlights, the most important moments from the day so far. Tyler Wright setting the bar early in the day, 6.17. Her lead was never questioned. She's dominated this event in the past, has a win in the Maui continuation, runner-up last year, straight to the round of 16. Also, Carissa Moore stepping away after Pipeline as she enjoyed the water with Hennessy and Sally Fitzgibbons. It was Sally and Brisa taking the top 2 spots. Brisa throwing down back-to-back 5.33s. Moore will be in the elimination round. And the reigning world champion really had to surf a grindy one. 317.267 for a combined heat total of a 5.84. The world champ knows a win's a win. She's looking great in the yellow jersey as she moves on to the round of 16. Indy Robinson into the elimination round. Thanks for watching the Pulse, as we'll show you all the best highlights from the day here in heat number 5 with 9:45 remaining. Gorgeous day on the North Shore of Oahu. And see how beautiful the reef is, how beautiful the Aina is, the land, all those beautiful homes right on the beach and up towards the mountains there. And right into our Hawaiian Water Patrol. You can see Strider there, still holding his position in the lineup. And Molly Picklam still holding down the lead because she started with a 7.33. The wave she got on her second effort was the one where she did that real cool, groovy looking, stylish mid-face slash to get a tight little barrel ride. That was a 3.0, so that's what she's trying to improve on. Alyssa Spencer now back to first priority since we came back from break. And Tatiana Weston Webb, big reputation in charging over shallow reef breaks. I always feel like had always so much expectations on her shoulders when she comes to waves like this, expected to win at all times. Everyone hoping that this is the year that Tati gets to compete for a pipe trophy because she certainly has all the skill sets to get herself there. But now 8:40 on the clock. Let's check in with our good friend Kaipo.
Joe, the sun's out, and that's when you need protection. Shiseido new Expert Sun Protection. I got this here. It's 50 plus UPF. So you got that sun protection there. Environmentally conscious. 90% of this plastic packaging made from plant-derived plastic. Shiseido doing great stuff with us. And of course, Shiseido also a partner with us with Project Blue with WSL One Ocean. So thank you, Shiseido. Get some on your face. Stay protected from the sun that just came out.
Thanks so much, Kaipo. I'm going to go use some right now. Make sure we're protected throughout the day. Kaipo doing a great job in the booth, outside, enjoying the sunshine as well and being protected by Shiseido as we see a nice, clean frontside float, well-timed maneuver for Tatiana Weston Webb. And a smart decision there, working closely with her coach, Ross Williams, who's competed for a long time back in the day, famous for his movie parts with Taylor Steele, but really enjoying his transition into one of the best coaches in the world. He's made so many great improvements with Tati, but he always turns it back and saying how honored he is to work with a talent like Tatiana Weston Webb. But we're seeing the improvements in real time, the decision making. He knows that she wants to go on anything that comes, but just now making smart decisions, and this was one of them right here.
Yeah, super smart decision to go this wave and looking so loose and flare in that first wave, and just showing us her Tatiana just approach on this last section. She is known for just hitting these intense sections and just getting so compressed coming out of them. You know, when you think back at Tatiana, obviously her hard charging self comes to mind, her barrel riding. We've seen highlights of her at Pipe, at Tahiti, but I think my favorite event watching her is in Margaret River, and how she approaches that end section. She literally will do the most intense wild turns on the heaviest, gnarliest sections, airdrop out of the lip, and just be able to handle these amazing turns and get excellent scores. So she's always she's just always come on and been just so strong, and a charger.
Gosh, I always loved too how confident she was when she came on tour, because she had one of those stories where she got maybe 2 wildcard call-ups before her official rookie year, maybe 3 at the time, and she was just so ready for the top stage in the world. She was so young too. You know, we're talking like Betty Lou age at the time, or Sawyer Lindblad, and she was coming in, beating the full-timers on tour, surprised that they were making certain mistakes that she was already aware of. And she's been around ever since. She's turned into a world title threat. She's almost won a world title in the WSL finals in the first edition. It was basically came down to one turn. If she would have completed it, could have been a world title year. The 5:40 on the clock. Just a fun-looking takeoff for Alyssa Spencer, but she was definitely hoping to pull up and under. And it was a critical time in the heat, too, because she's now in 3rd. Tati's in 2nd with her last score. And now pulling in, solid one at Pipeline.
Wow.
And Tati almost going the distance.
Wow, that was really cool. It was almost like Tatiana got under the lip the way that Alyssa wasn't able to. But both those waves sort of running off. You know, obviously Tati that was incredible to sneak up under. I thought she was almost going to be too late, but that's what she is so good at these heavy waves. That's what she's mastered here at Pipe and at Chopes. As we have a look at this, yes, sliding under and just takes her line. Unfortunately, that wave just clamped at the end there, but so incredible to just get down there, slides into it, and then just, you can see, puts her arms up to get her line under that lip. Almost thought she was going to fly out the end here, but unfortunately that wave just clamped that bit too much. She wasn't able to muscle through that one. But that just goes to show when the waves pick up, if she can make it through today and we get to that big Norwest Pipe day on finals day, she's just going to be such a threat. Tatiana always gives her brother credit for helping her charge. She said she couldn't hide when the swells got really big on the North Shore of Kauai and all over that island, and Troy just put the belief in her that she could go. This one didn't let her in on the takeoff, so she'll just kick out. But Tachi's now in 2nd, needing a 5.51 for the lead. So now the pressure's on the rookie, Alyssa Spencer, to get a 2.84 with 3:50 on the clock. And Molly also have to get through this one on the inside. Hasn't improved since her first 2 waves ridden. We'll see what happened here. Yeah, Molly sliding into this backdoor drainer, pumping through, but unfortunately that one just running off without her technique, the way she's able to produce speed. You see her foot placement. It's way up the board as we see Alyssa Spencer here.
Grabs the rail on the takeoff, looked to pull up and under, but was forced to go around that section and settle for some turns. Still nice and clean. And now a nice finish. And she'll step off. Big support crew right there for Alyssa Spencer, which includes Jake Marshall, as they grew up in the same region.
Yep, she's running the pink boards. We love that pink Go Alyssa merch. And wow, she only needed a 2.84 there. And you know, at the start, I thought it was a mistake that she didn't pull into that barrel, because it kind of spit and it could have been a good opportunity. But only needing a 2.84, it was smart of her to just go around and be able to get these turns in and just, you know for certain that, yeah, I'm going to say this will be the score.
As we see the finish down the line, Goofyfoot's watching this. Strider Wazalewski, how do you break down those maneuvers for Alyssa Spencer?
Well, she's definitely got the turns on lock. That's how she's here on tour. Her turns are vicious, front side, backside. She's really great at doing all those maneuvers in the lip, and even the front side tube riding is pretty on par. Obviously, that last wave had a nice little tube. She couldn't negotiate into the barrel right away. It's the only thing I think she can improve on, maybe that backhand barrel riding, but the turns are on point every time, throwing buckets, so her timing is perfect.
Good man was. All weather was today. Went through that rain squall earlier, and loving the breakdown. The backside turns from Alyssa Spencer. Opportunity for Tatiana. Big air drop, but that's going to put her behind.
That was unfortunate for Tatiana. That wave, she was just too much on the peak of the apex there, and a little bit too late. I thought she was going to try slice in, but just unfortunately having to take the drop and didn't allow her to get around that section.
90 seconds remaining. Tati has dropped down to third. Alyssa Spencer to second, with her last coming in at a 5.17. So even though she missed the opportunity to pull in, she just capitalized on a series of backside turns, enough to move back into advancing position to the round of 16. Molly locks in a back door. Great positioning, and the Australian comes flying out. Lays down a beautiful top turn, styling through the finish. She is feeling over the moon right now after the vision she just had.
Oh, wow, absolute barrel clinic. And you could feel it was coming. You know, she's had these moments throughout the heat, kind of like Carissa. They were finding the best ones. They were in rhythm and riding these barrels, but a few of those waves she couldn't make just before. They just kept running off or closing out, but that was a dreamy one. Look, it was such a steep takeoff. Love the way she just slid into this, arm in the face, pulled up under it. Just got to enjoy that, and you can see peace signs into a classic Molly Picklum carve at the end. So this was a beautiful read by Molly. Just such a dreamy backdoor drainer. And finishing off there. Little bow. Take a bow, Molly Picklum, yep.
Well played, Molly Picklum. 8.5 to go with her 7.33. Nice and barreled, and a welcome to 2024. You're going straight to the round of 16, along with Alyssa Spencer. And the ER's getting a little bit heavier in that elimination round. Remember, has Carissa Moore. It's going to also have Tatiana Weston-Webb and many more. And Alyssa's support crew really thrilled with that performance. Alyssa making that adjustment going to turns, but definitely the highlight reel belongs to Molly Picklum. Those waves will be all over the 8:05 post show. And gosh, it really makes you thinking about the Cup Noodles wave of the day. Who will it be? Will it be Molly Picklum? Maybe a couple entries in this heat. Back for heat number 6 right after this.
for Pipeline. That was good, Doc. Good boy. I started surfing because my dad is a surfer.
She's just driven, very driven. But she always wanted to be like her brother.
Come on, Andrew.
She went from just another little girl splashing around in the waves to where she is now. She's a world beater.
And my brother, he's definitely been a huge impact on my surfing career. I don't even think I would be surfing if it weren't for him.
Almost taking us out.
We're very competitive with each other.
She's aggressive. She wants to grit her teeth and win.
We definitely like push each other. What motivates me is my love for surfing. I'm honestly obsessed with it. I'm definitely an underdog, so yeah, this is a great opportunity for me to show what I'm made of. My name is Sawyer Lindblad, and I'm a rookie on the championship tour.
Sawyer Lindblad, welcome to the Dream Tour. Also another edition representing San Clemente, California. She fed off all that positive energy, had a breakthrough result on the Gold Coast, a U.S. Open champion, and she is here to stay. 18 years of age as she joins Joanne DeFay and Lakey Peterson, a couple of big veterans here in heat number 6 of the opening round of competition for the Lexus Pike Pro presented by YETI. Thanks for being with us. We'll break this one down. Joe Turpel with Laura Enever, and now Jesse Mendez back in the booth for the call. Fun to see some surfers out there who have more hobbies outside of the ocean. Horseback riding, what a good way to kind of cool off after the heat of competition and just try something new, Jesse.
Yeah, I think she got that one from her brother. I know he likes to do that as well. They have a full crew there. Tori Meister loves that too. It's the country surfers.
Yeah. You listen to country music?
Not really.
That's all right.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I'll give you some recommendations. Taj Lindblad just had a big win in the regional series in California, so he's also feeding off the momentum of his sister Sawyer, of all her successes. Well, Taj is a super talent. And what Sawyer tells me is Taj is kind of the one that really loves being on the horses. That's their grandparents' ranch. That's not too far away from San Clemente. But she participates here and there. She spends most of her time in the ocean, and she's happy to be working with Shane Dorian for this event. She'll transition to Jake Patterson for the rest of the season. Two great people that are going to be in her corner.
Yeah, wow, that's absolutely so rad to be working with such legends. I mean, it's such a good way to just get to learn and know and understand your rookie season, especially working with coaches that have been there before and just understand everything you're going to go through as she's looking at her first wave on the World Championship Tour.
Sawyer Lindblad going left. That has to feel great for a goofy footer. Just finding a little wave on her forehand. Jitters her out, doing a couple slashing turns, and we'll get this one going. Headed right, Joanne DeFay. Got a lot of speed off that first pump, and then a little off balance off the top. So Sawyer will have the lead over Joanne DeFay. Now Lakey with priority. Joanne DeFay representing Reunion Island in France. Qualified back in 2014, was the breakthrough performer of the season. The big rookie class back then. We saw how dangerous she was at Honolulu Bay, real powerful on her forehand, and then all of a sudden her reputation was just thrown in front of our eyes of what she could do on shallow left-hand reef breaks from Uluwatu to Cloud Break. Wouldn't be surprised if she wants to hunt down a left at some point if it's available. What happened on this one, Laura?
Yeah, that wave just not really working out there for Joanne, but nice to get it started. Sawyer on her forehand here, just nice crack, and just love her attack. And I love her talking about how competitive she is, how her brother is saying how competitive she is. I mean, you look at her year last year, the qualifying series, her regional series in California, all finals. First, second at all the QSs. Then she went on to the Challenger Series and made a final at Gold Coast. Like, she's just a competitive little beast, and I'm just so excited to see what she's going to do this year.
Anytime you ask Sawyer about her mentors and who's really been pushing her and giving her confidence, she always mentions Kolohe Andino for representing San Clemente and helping everybody out to believe in their ability to represent their town on tour. As you can see in the distance there, we've got the Air Force joining us. It's a Boeing C-17 Globemaster, 2 of them up in the sky. Tactical airlift airplane. Can move 170,000 pounds of cargo, equipment, or troops. Special that they're joining us for another great day at Pipeline. Can even move an M1 Abrams tank. These things are powerful, but they also like checking out Pipeline, like we all do.
Gotta love it. A little drive-by pipe for morning tea.
Why not, right? Do a bigger loop, take a look, see how the waves are, to go back home and go surf.
It's a great perspective from the sky, especially when the North Shore has waves. It's really cool to see all the reefs, how they work, the outer reefs as well. A little easier to get that vantage point is if you hike up and do the bunker hike. That's right next to Sunset Beach Elementary School, and it's breathtaking. You can see Pipe from the sky, Sunset, Rocky Point, you can mind surf, pick your sets. It's really cool to see a whole new perspective from the air. Sawyer's first wave, 217. Joanne with a 0.8. And Laking holding priority now. Jesse, for you, is there a clear favorite in these conditions out of these 3?
I don't think there's a favorite. I think there's an advantage on being front side today. I think I've mentioned before, it's small backdoor, so it's going to be small down the line barrels. So definitely for Sawyer is going to be a little trickier for managing and kind of maneuver through the barrel because it gets very tight and fast. So yeah, I think it's going to be more of an advantage for Lakey and Joanne. That being said, because I mean, even though there's not that many barrels in opportunity, it's still a barrel wave and they're still getting barrels, most of the front side girls, and you're going to get rewarded more.
Sawyer Lindblad had got some great advice in the off season from North Shore legend Miles Padanka. He basically just told her, you got to get here. And she's like, okay, off-season plans, spent a few weeks straight working with Miles. I remember he won the Triple Crown back in 2001. Still rips. He got out there and got a gem himself, a backdoor, but he was really just trying to focus on helping Sawyer. And the biggest thing that came through was like, wow, she needed some bigger boards. In her mind, she's about 5'5". Hearing that she'd have a 6'2" feels giant. And then when she was out there with a lot of size, she had the drop of her life. At the time, the best wave she's had so far with Miles's help. Went straight to Matt Biolis and said, can I get a 6'5"? You know, and he's like, of course. Got her bigger boards and was able to work that out really because she came nice and early. Really started feeling the energy of Pipe and backdoor.
Yeah, there's really no way to replicate the energy that you get here in Hawaii, and surfing these waves is the only way. You can watch as many videos as you want. You can just study the lineup as much as you want, but the only way you'll truly be able to find your comfort out there is by getting out there and giving it a crack. So, yeah, now that these women know that this event at Pipe's on the tour, it's going to be here to stay. The only way to get used to it is to get out there.
Yeah, the more time spent out there, it's just going to make you more comfortable. The waves that you would think are impossible to make start to get familiar, and you start seeing people making them. You're like, oh, that's actually doable if I do this. So you just start adjusting and getting comfortable with. That's why most of the locals here have so much advantage, because they're so used to seeing 10 foot every week, you know, during the winter.
It becomes normal. It's just part of their upbringing here, not just on the North Shore, but throughout the Hawaiian Islands. 19:30 on the clock. No takers on that insider. Lakey trying to pick a certain type of wave. Her husband Thomas is an amazing surfer as well, and he's been by her side each and every morning looking at conditions, as we'll break down the positioning with the WAS.
Yeah, you know, we have to stay away from the surfers as much as possible so we don't interfere with them. And we've been moving this way, and they've been moving this way with us. We're down off the wall. They're so far from the backdoor peak. They're probably 200 yards away from the actual peak from where they are now. So you can see them paddling back towards backdoor now, trying to reposition themselves. But I think that, you know, the illusion of this off the wall swell and how much energy is down here, they're trying to, you know, they want to tap into that, but it kind of pulls them away from the actual peak of where they were surfing all day.
Positioning so important on a day like today, but is it really just continuing to adapt and move with your lineups instead of dropping anchor WAS?
Well, you know, I don't think so. I feel like there's going to be those waves coming through that we saw Molly on them. We've seen people, you know, defining themselves on that peak all day. It's just a matter of wading through those times when the waves are and the currents are coming through, and the riptides and the rain, and wading through all of those moments and when the opportunity arises, you have to be in the right spot, and that's the hardest part, is actually you drop an anchor.
Good man, was 18 on the clock. A lot of great things happening at Pipeline for the women in the last few years as far as getting a championship tour event, and also equal events with the men from start to finish. As we look at a wave here for California's Lakey Peterson. Pulls in for just a moment. Not quite getting barreled there, but she'll still complete this wave with a snap and a wrap combination. And now hopping out. Great to see number 7 on her opener of the year.
Yeah, nice start for Lakey there, and yeah, just touching on what Strider said. I looked over my shoulder before, and yeah, the girls had been lured down towards that energied off the wall, but they quickly readjusted and got back up to the takeoff and made it back up there for these waves. And yeah, it's so important to know your lineups out there, and it's easy to get lost. You know, you're so used to surfing this wave with so many people out there in the free surfs, and then all of a sudden you're out there, no one's out there except 2 other women, and you just have to trust your instincts and your lineups, really.
Yeah, definitely. And this is a great shot right there. You can see all the lineups, all the reefs, and as you see here, Lakey, that wave kind of crumbled, and she went for turns, which is smart. You want to get something on the board. Nothing special that offered her to really unleash, but you know, she already had lost priority, took off on a wave, might as well get something.
Lakey Peterson has shown so much growth since she qualified for the tour. Famously featured her big movie 0 to 100, because her career kind of happened overnight. Got big sponsors, went on the QS, kind of thought she was just going to learn how to compete. Then she qualified. She's like, well, that just happened. Now I got to figure out what's going on tour. Where she kind of was known for this kind of progressive young girl coming out of Southern California. And now she's just so well-rounded as we look at Sawyer Lindblad grabbing the rail, head down, still gunning for the exit. Lindblad makes a dreamy one way down and off the wall. Shuts it down with turns as well. So I love the competitor in her. Didn't just celebrate a great barrel ride, really wanted to shut it down with some great turns. Best score of the heat so far.
Wow, I actually just got some shivers. That would have felt so good to come out in your first heat here at Pipeline and to go out at backdoor. We haven't seen much of her barrel riding, but the way that she read this was so awesome. Just pulling up, taking her line and just sneaking out the doggy door. That was really hard to read and to surf, but she just did it really, really well. Years beyond her age, and such a dreamy backdoor wave, that one. Nothing huge, obviously, but just would have felt so nice to complete that.
And that shows how much talent she has right there. See, nice line and just setting up perfectly. That's what made that barrel so impressive from her. She had a great line to it, just doggy door right when she needed, when the wave was clamping, and backed it up with great scores. As I mentioned, backside people had more trouble at backdoor. She got that wave, so that's impressive. And if you look back, how many waves she probably got at backdoor that was that good, you know? That probably might have been her best wave ever out there. Like, it's so hard for a goofy footer to break that barrier, and for her to get that wave in the heat, that's crazy.
Yeah, I love the way that she took off, actually no grab, and then realized, hang on a second, felt like she was going to go to turns for a second, but then realized this is draining. I need to take advantage of this, and that feels good. That was a nice score to hear.
Sawyer Lindblad, 7-point ride, getting barreled at backdoor, and just the turns were impressive too, because it was kind of like a 2-for-1. Tight space, hit him with authority, way out in front. Not bad for the rookie in her first heat on tour, Strider.
Not bad at all. You know, I just feel like the authority that she had, you know, and the confidence that she showed to weave through that barrel, come out, and then bango off into the lip like that. You know, the rookies, they're not scared, and I love it. Sawyer just feels so good to see that kind of talent coming on a tour, you know, and saw Caitlin just looking stylish but really confident. I just feel like all these youngsters are making a statement, and they're here, and they're just going to continue to fill in.
Yeah, it's true, man. And then you look at these surfers that have incredible surfing in their family. I think everyone almost in Sawyer's family, not just surfs, but rips. Her dad, Mark Lindblad, longtime competitor, shreds super hard. He's well respected in all the surfing circles in California. And you can see this all makes sense, having not just one, but 2 kids that are world class. And Sawyer making a big statement with that 7-point ride. And the veterans aren't going to like that feeling. It's never fun to have a new face on tour put pressure on you this early, Jesse.
Mostly in such a challenging conditions. The girls being on front side, they know they have the advantage, and they have all sorts of advantage. They've been here for longer. They know how the game plays. They surf pipe in the heat quite a few times already. For the past 3 years, they have been doing it. So, yeah, they're gonna be bummed on that one. It's like how we'd let that one slid. You know, a 7-point ride, such a good ride, and she took advantage of it, and it shows how much talent she is and how comfortable she is at doing what she does.
A lot of great things happening on the North Shore, and it's a tradition this time of the year. You look out the back and you see the humpbacks preaching and putting on a show. There we go. Magnificent.
Wow. Whale of a time.
Can't even score that. It's so perfect. There we go. Up and out from Sawyer Lindblad. That's when you know it's the wintertime on the North Shore, when you're seeing this activity from the whales. Always great to have their company.
So beautiful. Got to see some whales just in the wild last year in Tahiti, and it was just so beautiful just seeing them in the ocean just do their thing. They go down and nap. Sometimes the calves can go from like 10 to 15 minutes, and then the mamas for 40-minute naps, and they come up and then they're just ready to go, jumping, playing.
That was such a cool trip you took on a lay day. Gosh, so many great activities to get involved with. As we have Sawyer out in front, let's catch up with someone who threw down a surf movie part. Molly Picklam's with AJ.
Yeah, Molly Picklam dazzling out here in her first heat of 2024. Congratulations. Best wave scored here at Pipeline. What did you see in your heat that you were able to just find those gems?
Yeah, I think there's definitely been tough heats this morning. Obviously, I was fortunate enough to get waves, and I feel pretty comfortable out there to move around the reef and know which waves, but I won't lie, for sure my heat had some good waves in it. And I don't know, I just enjoyed the heat. The sun was shining. It was like every time it rains and then the sun shines here, you know that there's going to be some sick moments in the surf. So that kind of was all playing out as the heat was just unfolding, and then yeah, I was happy to get some good rides.
Well, and we know from when you were in the booth earlier in the competition that there's some thought put into some of your celebrations, and you had quite the one on that last one. Walk us through that decision.
No, well, I guess I was talking about Samuel. I'm staying in the Rip Curl house, and fortunate enough with a bunch of the athletes. So Samuel, I was talking to him about, he plans his claims and stuff, and I clearly don't because mine is so embarrassing. But yeah, I don't know. It was just such a cool wave, and I've never had like a beautiful, beautiful wave like that out pipe. So yeah, the emotions took over.
I mean, take a bow, Molly Picklam. What a way to start 2024. What are your goals moving forward this year?
Yeah, I think this year definitely world title, gold medal, obviously the Olympics is there. And then all in all, just have fun and showcase my surfing. I think the judging and everything now these days, it's all women's are really pushing out there in the water, and I just want to keep pushing.
Leading the charge, Molly. Congratulations. See you in the next round.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Also, thanks so much, everyone at home. I really appreciate your support.
Well, they appreciate you dominating backdoor. Great job, Molly Picklam. She loves her job. There's no doubt about that. Every part of it. Getting barreled. She loves the people she gets to meet, the big interviews she was having when she was world #1 in Oz, sitting at big fancy desks in the media. You can tell she's having the time of her life. While we were catching up with Molly, we saw Joanne DeFay get going on an important wave. Had the 0.8 before on the fall where she got stuck off the top doing the turn. You can see the number on your screen of 4.5. So Lakey still third, now needs a 2.31 to be in the top two. But now 9:10 to go, Laura.
Yeah, wow, this heat is ticking down pretty quickly. 4.5 for Joanne, though. She'll be stoked to just get the ball rolling. Looks like Lakey's having a look.
And now taking this wave with priority, the rookie Sawyer Lindblad. Wow, how about that? Timing on the backside snap. Had the 7 with the barrel and 2-turn combo. That turn could replace the 217. Nice little wrapping turn from Peterson. And she'll get stuck in transition, so that'll be a little bit interesting. See if she'll get enough to take second now, Jesse.
Yeah, it was impressive to see that turn from Sawyer. It's just showcased the variety she can throw it in. She's good at tube riding, good at backside snaps, and she's a powerhouse, man. And now we got to see. It looks like Lakey's going to get priority on that one. Joanna's way far down. She's really, like, she's paddling hard, maybe get there before, but it looks like Lakey's going to get the edge on that one.
Numbers coming through for Sawyer Lindblad. And it looks like that one turn moment, did it with nice control and some power, will be enough to improve her total out front. Saw Lakey looking there, taking a big look at the right at backdoor. She will lose priority for that. Back to Sawyer Lindblad, the rookie, with priority and the lead increasing. So a tough moment there for Lakey Peterson.
Yeah, that was tough. She was paddling out and unfortunately was just a bit too wide for those backdoor drainers. Fortunately not in the rhythm of that last set, but she had a look at it, almost could have thought that she could have got a just like something off the end, 7.5 minutes to go. Just any sort of barrel would have been awesome to try to tap into right now, but unfortunately that one didn't work out.
Down to 7:15 on the clock, which is a long time for Lakey to get the scores, but wow, what about Sawyer Lindblad? Doing a great job. It's going to be a fun Rookie of the Year race. We saw Alyssa Spencer with all of her support down on the beach, and it'd be kind of cool to have a little goofy foot race to decide who's the best rookie in 2024. Time for an update with our Chief of Sport, Jessie Miley-Dyers with AJ.
So Jessie, we knew coming into today we were going to get the women's opening round underway. What's happening with the elimination round?
Yeah, so we're not going to do elimination round today. It's obviously, it is still really clean, but we know it's going to be dropping throughout this afternoon still, and we're really eyeing that Friday swell. And if you have the option to be putting this round out, in that building swell or now, we're going to take the building swell and really hope that we get some epic waves for us on Friday.
Cannot wait. So women's opening round all locked up. Check back in for a later update. Back to you.
Thank you very much, AJ and our Chief of Sport, and making a great call there, completing this opening round. So the elimination round has some big names that are going to really hope that they get put out in some great waves, with the forecast looking really fun for Friday and Saturday. We're actually in a really good place to crown our champions in some stellar conditions. We're going to take a quick break. We'll finish off the opening round of competition for the women right after this. The Lexus Pipe Pro, presented by YETI, is brought to you by Lexus. Experience amazing. By Eventbrite. On or off your board, you've got plans with Eventbrite. And by Shiseido, official sunscreen partner of the World Surf League. 3:50 to go here in the opening round, heat number 6, and welcome to paradise. What about this view? See the sand there on the reef. You can actually walk out there and take a nice dip in the ocean. It's going to be a beach day for the rest of the afternoon as the swell's fading out. We'll be waiting for better conditions, looking like Friday and Saturday. But excited to see everybody kind of welcome back to school and doing their first laps. See kind of what they've been doing in the off season, who's coming out strong, who's put in time at backdoor and pipeline. And Be fun to break down the elimination round once we get there, and also the quarterfinals for the men that got stacked up yesterday. Go through all the major moments right after this on the 8:05 post show. Lakey at the moment eating a 2-3-1, Jesse.
Yeah, a little head shake right there. It seems like she lost priority paddle for a wave, and now Joanne sits in second place with priority, so she's identified as like, that was a mistake. I should have not lost priority. Now she sits in third in the lineup and
There's an absolute
with third priority.
nugget coming.
All three surfers paddling out. The rookie has control of the lineup, and she's probably pinching herself now. Priority at pipe and back door, and the lead over two of her heroes, and they'll punch through just all a bit out of position. How'd the wave look, Laura?
Yeah, that wave unfortunately just pushed a bit too far down off the classic backdoor peak and ran down towards off the wall, but had a beautiful line. And you know, there's been some absolute beauties out there today, but it's been pretty few and far between. And like we obviously saw Molly get out there and just say, you know, she knew that she found that rhythm and she found those waves, and that was a lot of fun. Nothing worse than when you catch a wave and you're paddling back out, and then the wave you're waiting for shows its face.
Interesting with priority, the big story of this seed is paddling and losing priority without getting the wave. And you know, it's a fine line with taking a look and actually showing that you weren't interested in saving priority on a wave that's kind of slabbing and hollow. We notice the judges really take that seriously. If you look over and hold anybody off, they're just going to quickly keep the priority rotation going. You have to really make it clear that you're not interested to make sure you're holding that P next to your name.
Yeah, and that's also because it's this type of conditions, it gives you a split second in order for you to take off on a wave. It's so easy for you to be too late. So if you show any interest, the judges are going to penalize you for that. And I think they're right, because in other places you kind of have more time to like, hey, someone pulled back last second, I can just whip around and go. But in waves, the consequences like this, it doesn't give you that. It gives you a split second, and that's about it. So yeah, it's smart of them doing that. And unfortunately for Lakey right now, just sitting in third with third priority and not much time left.
50 seconds for Lakey to find a 2.31 without priority in the back of the line. Lakey has a 3.0 as her best number so far. So a similar type of wave will get her into the top two. Just need to be first or second to go straight through and miss the elimination round. And now we've got some separation here. Sawyer, the rookie, is going to let the two veterans paddle down the beach. Opportunity now setting up, and unfortunately not good enough for Lakey. Joanne does have priority over Peterson. That's why she's shadowing her to shut this heat down with 10 seconds to go. The elimination round is looking daunting for the women. Some massive names involved in it, including Lakey Peterson now, Tatiana Weston-Webb, Carissa Moore, just to name a few, all trying to survive to get through this contest with a big result before heading into Sunset Beach. So finally accomplishing the opening round of competition for the women, and going to be celebrating some rookie performances led by Sawyer Lindblad at 7. We're going to be looking at that definitely for throughout this event, making a big statement there. Join us all on the 8:05 post show. Coming up next to go down all the major moments and upsets of a big day of competition. We'll see you then.
It is the 8:05 post show. Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere here on the North Shore of Oahu. Lexus Pipe Pro presented by YETI, and we're going to break down some of the key happenings that happened today with the women's opening round. I'm cover girl Laura Enever, joining me as well as Jesse Mendez. Laura, I'm going to start with you. We got through the women's opening round. We got a first look at our class of 2024 on the championship tour for the girls.
Yeah, amazing to kick it off. I think, the women have waited so long. It's been, a week into this waiting period, and, it's been a long start to the year to just build up to this moment. So really cool to kick them off. Obviously, it was a bit slow out there, but there were some special moments today. So it was really cool to just see how everyone approached it.
Yeah, some unexpected happenings also today. My read of the opening round, Jesse.
Yeah, I agree with you. A lot of big names on the elimination round, and I think actually what surprised me the most was Sawyer in the last heat getting the best backside barrel of the day. Like, that was very impressive for someone that is a rookie. Barely probably spent any time here at Backdoor. Being able to pull that off, that was impressive.
Yeah, I love it because in a way, this is the scouting report, right? This is our first chance to see all of the rookies this year, and they got to start off at Pipeline. So kudos to Sawyer Lindblad. Came through, had a great backhand barrel, and that's the type of mental and physical happening that you need as a rookie to come through on surfing's highest stage, Laura, against the world's best.
Absolutely. I mean, I know Sawyer has been here for a couple of months now. I think she came at the end of last year and just had to really come over here and get used to these waves and get out there as much as possible. She's working with Shane Dorian, who I know was just like, the only way you're going to learn and understand this wave is by just getting your reps in out there. So it would have felt so amazing for her to have that moment. And
another thing, just talking about, San Clemente, the San Clemente Force. I mean, we've seen five rookies on tour from San Clemente, Sawyer being one of them. And let's hear from Sawyer Lindblad. Great opening round for Sawyer, AJ.
A great opening round, Kaipo. And Sawyer, a big moment for you as well. What was the first for you in that heat?
That was actually my first backside barrel that I've made it out of. I've gotten lipped in the head so many times practicing for this event, and yeah, before the heat I was talking to my coach Shane, and he was just like, just keep going, because I tend to just like hop off when I think I'm too deep, and on that one I just like saw that I could just keep going, so I like didn't stop, and I somehow made it through.
Such a big moment for you to celebrate, not just the backside barrel, but what it got you, your very first heat win of 2024. How are you feeling moving forward, knowing that you were able to accomplish something like that?
Yeah, it feels really good. I was so nervous. Just this being my first CT event, and it being at Pipe is especially nerve-wracking, but I'm really happy I won my heat, and it just gives me a lot of confidence going into the later rounds.
How does it also settle your nerves a little bit? Because I know coming in, you've got them all over the place, but how much does this settle them moving forward?
Yeah, I feel like it helps a lot. I was just really nervous about, again, I had never gotten a backside barrel, so I was like, a little nerve-wracking since it's all backdoor today. And then, I got that one, so yeah, my confidence is definitely getting higher and higher each heat.
As it should be. Congratulations, Sawyer. See you in the next round.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will actually see Sawyer in the round of 16. After we get through the next round, we're going to be the elimination round, and we're still waiting to hold that elimination round. And speaking of elimination round, Laura, a surprising surfer to be in the elimination round, Carissa Moore. We're going to see her, unusual for Carissa Moore to be in that elimination round.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Carissa had two waves this morning that if she'd been able to push through and make it out of, could have been in the excellent range. They were absolute nuggets. She did sit and wait for more than half her heat though, and she was just up against Sally Fitzgibbon, long time CT rival, and they've been on tour together for many, many years. And Sal got the jump pretty quickly, and then so did Brisa. So they put up some scores really early in the heat. This was a 5.33 for Brisa, and then she backed it up with a couple of turns. Left Carissa sitting out there for quite some time.
Yeah, and this is Brisa here, just identifying that that morning was kind of slow. There wasn't many barrels, and she really pushed through that turn. That was a beautiful turn. For me, that was turn of the day so far. And Carissa right here, that was the wave. Probably would, in my opinion, that would have been the wave of the day. Look how hollow and throaty that was. Maybe got a little bit too relaxed from the beginning, and the fumble monster just ate her. And unfortunately for her, because that was a beautiful wave.
So Carissa Moore on to the elimination round. We can take a look at the numbers from that heat number 2 in the opening round. Hennessy taking the win. Sally Fitzgibbons avoiding that elimination round. That puts Carissa Moore into elimination round heat number 1. Let's see who Carissa's going to face up against. Betty Lou Sakura Johnson and Isabella Nichols. Jesse, your thoughts on that elimination heat 1?
Yeah, that's a crazy good heat. Like you see, if you talk about Carissa and Sakura, they're probably one of the best backdoor surfers for the women's side out here. And then you have Isabella that is not scared as well to get some barrels. I've seen a lot of good barrels from her at Indonesia, so it's going to be a stacked heat if we have backdoor waves.
Yeah, it's going to be one to watch. And Laura, speaking of world champs, our defending world champ, we had a glimpse at Caroline Marks, heat number 3 of the opening round. Caroline Marks, though, she started on the right foot in her opening round heat.
Yeah, she did, and this was a pretty tricky heat. She just wanted to get started here, going to turns on her forehand, and there were a few heats there where the ladies just wanted to, start quickly, get their turns, back it up, but there wasn't a lot of high-scoring waves in this heat. Mark's making it through with a 5.84 total, and then Moana, we're so used to seeing her standing tall in absolute pipe caverns. Today wasn't her day, but she did manage to scrape through at the very end on her last wave. Caroline here going to turns, but yeah, absolutely pretty scrappy heat. Would have felt really good for Caroline to make it through. India Robinson only needed a 1-point ride at the very end, but unfortunately could not make it. You can see the frustration there. That was just, slow heat.
Yeah, it was slow heat. Caroline Marks using priority at the end of that heat right now actually did not allow India Robinson to get that 1-point ride. There's the numbers right there. Marks, Jones Wong on to the round of 16. India Robinson, she's going to go into elimination round heat number 2. Let's see who she is faced up against, Laura, in this heat 2. And your thoughts on this matchup?
Oh yeah, this is a good one. I mean, obviously Tati out there. She, if the waves pick up, that northwest swell coming in is just going to be an absolute threat out pipe. I feel like it's her time, and we're all just waiting to see Tatiana just get excellent waves out pipeline. Lakey Peterson, she's had some amazing ones at backdoor, and India, we know that she can charge, she can get it done, and so I'd love to see her get some backdoor drainers.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. Hey Jesse, it's time to heat up the water. I think it's at a boil, and it's time for our cup noodle wave of the day, and that cup noodle wave of the day goes to Molly Picklum for this 8.5.
Yeah, and she mentioned on her post interview she's comfortable here. She knows exactly where she's sitting on the bank, or on the reef, sorry, and it's just showing right there. She identified so many good waves in that heat, and that was a gem of a wave. Beautiful, kind of a little bit of a wider backdoor wave, ran down the line perfectly. Just nice setup. See it right there, air drop. Very calm and composed, and just perfectly through the barrel. Throwing peace signs as well. That shows how comfortable she is out here.
Bow to the crowd from Molly Picklum. Well, today was all about today's women's pros. Let's take a look into maybe tomorrow's women's pros and the Rising Tides activation.
We are back. I'm so excited for this very first Rising Tides of the 2024 WSL-CT season. Ahead of the Lexus Pipe Pro, we are getting some of the best up-and-coming female surfers from right here on the North Shore out in the water with their CT heroes.
This is what surfing is all about, is about sharing it with other people, especially the next generation, inspiring and empowering them to go after their dreams and to live fearlessly.
It's awesome to be here and just meet the girls and just be really inspired by them. Are we all gonna get some good party waves?
Yeah! These women are who these girls want to be someday. And what's so cool about Rising Tides is it's not just about catching waves with your heroes, it's about these moments where you get to ask them some questions, you get to hear what it's like to be a pro surfer.
I'm grateful to be surrounded by the people you look up to, and I think that basically makes goals feel much more achievable.
I would love to be on the championship tour because I would just like to make my family proud and just win.
myself when I was their age, this would have been the coolest thing ever to come surf with some of my idols and heroes.
And that's where you actually start to see the pieces come together for these girls, because it goes from oh, I dream of being on tour someday, to I know what it takes to get there.
Our future is in good hands.
Hey, and by the way, in the U.S. today is National Girls and Women's in Sports Day, so such an appropriate celebration there. Great happenings. Let's look forward into the future, Jesse, and see what Surfline has in store for us for the rest of the event window.
Yeah, it's exciting what's ahead of us. I think tomorrow we have a decrease in the swell. It's going to be a little smaller. But then Friday and Saturday, there's a new post of a northwest swell. And the good thing about this new northwest swell is that there's not going to be a cross northeast that we had the past 5 or 6 days. So it's going to be a clean, nice swell. And that's favors pipeline and backdoor. So hopefully we get some fireworks to finish the event.
Yeah, Laura, numbers are looking good Friday, Saturday.
Absolutely, and I mean we're at that opportunity in the contest now to potentially run in one day. Or do we need 2 days?
We're gonna need 2 days to finish it off.
Right, well, we've got 2 good days.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Well, this is the part of the day that we go through today's top 5 moments. Let's get those rolling, starting. Laura, number 5, Tyler Wright had a fast start and she was successful winning her first heat today.
Yeah, just looking so comfortable out here at backdoor, picking up where she left off. She's had some amazing results here in the past. She's actually riding the same board that she was riding at lowers, so she's got so much trust in her Paizel equipment. She loves the way that these boards feel in all types of conditions, and it's actually a 5.8. Can you believe that? I thought she'd stepped up to 5.10, but no, 5.8, and just looking so solid on her feet. She's done a lot of work in the off-season.
Number 4, Jessie, defending world champ. She wins her opening heat, first heat of 2024.
Yeah, adapting right there, and that's what world champs are made of. They're so good at recognizing the situation at the moment and adapting to it. She's noticed there wasn't many barrels at her heat, start going for turns and squeeze through that one. She's obviously not what she was hoping for, but she would take it any day, and she has another chance next round.
Yeah. Solid stuff from Caroline Marks. Number 3, the Steezy, Katie Simmers, Laura, with this barrel.
Oh, absolutely love watching this young lady get tubed. She is just one of the most stylish in the world to do it. And look at that, standing tall, super quick barrel there on her standards. But loved her interview. She just wants to go out there and get barreled, but she also knows she needs to get her scores. She has actually had a bit of difficulty in these first round heats, so stoked to make it through.
Number 2, Sawyer Lindblad, Jesse. First barrel at backdoor completion in competition.
Yeah, I thought she haven't got many barrels out there, but I guess that was the first ever. So this is so special, and for me, that's like incredible to do it. Pull it off on a heat with no experience out there. That was a beautiful way for her, and yeah, props off, because it's not easy to do what she did right there. Very deep, just able to sneak before the wave clamped and combo it up with some strong turns.
And at number 1, Laura, Molly Picklum dominated her opening round heat.
Yeah, Pickles really did dominate, and look at that, just so comfortable on her forehand barrel riding skills and those slashes. We love to see it. This wave here just dropping, just the way that she's able to control her board in those drops and pull up, no sliding at all. She's just looking so comfortable. And this is where we got to see her little bow. Can't wait to watch her into the next round.
Short but sweet day today, you guys. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Jesse. And thank all of you for watching. Remember, check in worldsurfleague.com, 7:45 tomorrow morning, Hawaii time, for updates. Enjoy today's end of day highlights. Aloha.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.